Hamas released to Israel yesterday was not that of an Israeli woman, the mother of 2 young children, as promised by Hamas. Prime Minister Netanyahu says this will not go unpunished.
In
a statement, Netanyahu criticized the handover of the wrong remains as a cruel and malicious violation of the ceasefire agreement, which has halted fighting in the Gaza Strip. His statement said Hamas would pay the full price for the action.
Correspondent Lawrence Brooks. Elon Musk generates quite a buzz at CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference outside Washington.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy.
Wielding a chainsaw as he took the CPAC stage yesterday, Musk vowing to be unrelenting as he leads President Trump's drive to cut government waste, fraud, and abuse. Also at CPAC, Vice President Vance.
I think that what the president has tried to do is recognize that we have a historical mandate on a few issues. We have to secure the southern border, and thanks to his actions, border crossings are down well over 90%, and we're just getting started.
And the Trump agenda has advanced in the Senate.
After an all-night vote, Senate Republicans approved a budget framework, pushing past Democratic objections. This is part of a broader effort in Congress that will eventually include legislation to extend some $4.5 trillion in tax breaks and other Trump priorities.
Correspondent Ed Donahue says a $340 billion budget bill that includes money for energy production, border security, and the U.S. military now heads to the House, and it faces an uncertain future in the lower house of Congress. Watching Wall Street this morning, ahead of the opening bell, Dow futures down 265 points, NASDAQ futures up 91. More on these stories at townhall.com.
A new president is sworn in. America's greatness is being restored. And there's breaking news every minute. Now, tens of millions of Americans are turning off Fox and CNN and tuning in to Newsmax for the breaking information they really need to know. Reuters Institute says Newsmax is one of the top news brands in America. Find it yourself on all major cable systems and on your TV or smartphone store. Just download the Newsmax app for free and start watching. You'll get great shows with Rob Schmidt, Greta Van Susteren, Rob Finnerty, and Carl Higbie, and more. Find out why millions of Americans have made the switch. Even President Trump says Newsmax is terrific, and he's watching. So make the switch to Newsmax. Check us out on cable and satellite TV or download the Newsmax app today. Watch us anytime, anywhere. Remember, Newsmax is real news for real people.
Linda McMahon, President Trump's pick to head the Education Department, one step closer to confirmation.
McMahon passed the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions, or HELP Committee on Thursday, sending her nomination to the full Senate. McMahon has said she agrees with President Trump that the Department of Education should be shut down and its critical functions moved to other departments. Neither she nor the president wish to cut funding Congress has appropriated for schools. McMahon has drawn no opposition from Republicans, meaning her confirmation is virtually assured. Bob Hagner reporting.
More than 500,000 newly naturalized citizens will be able to vote in Germany's national election for the first time this weekend. Almost a third of the new Germans are originally from Syria. In 2015-2016 alone, more than 1 million migrants came to Germany, most from Syria, but also from Afghanistan, as well as coming in from Iraq. News and analysis at townhall.com. A lawsuit challenging Georgia's restrictions on abortion is headed back to a trial court.
That court will decide if the people who want to overturn the law have legal standing to sue. The Georgia Supreme Court voted 6-1 on Thursday to require the trial court judge to re-examine standing issues. The court cites its own January decision in an unrelated case that changed state law on who may sue. In the meantime, Fulton County Superior Court Judge Robert McBurney's ruling from September striking down the law remains on hold. Georgia's law prohibits most abortions once a detectable human heartbeat is present. Keith Peters reporting.
The man accused of fatally shooting the CEO of United Healthcare in New York City is leading authorities on a 5-day manhunt scheduled to be in court for the first time since his December arraignment on state murder and terror charges. Luigi Mangione set for a hearing today in state court in Manhattan. Townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yes, we have made it.
Sean, feeling better?
Oh, yeah, actually much better.
You sounded way better than yesterday.
Whew, dude, I don't know. It was destroying me yesterday. That coupled with not having running water was also not an enjoyable experience. But
well, did you drip them last night?
Yes. It was actually, it was kind of, I didn't think we were going to make it because I was like, I was watching the temperature all day, hoping we'd just crack the freezing.
Well, the sun did come out. That helped.
The sun did come out, but then the sun was already on its way down. Like it was almost gone. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, there's no hope, I guess. And then I start hearing a bubbling come out of the other room.
Bubbling
like,
crew.
Kids, we've got water. Water. What's happening with this mic? It's super tight.
Oh, yeah, we had some people on it recording and stuff yesterday, so they may have juxtapositioned it around a little bit.
They played.
But happy Friday. Glad you're feeling better. Glad the water's back.
Yeah.
It is still chilly. We do have a cold weather advisory through 9 a.m. this morning. We are sitting at a current degree of 17 right now.
Oh, yeah, it's still cold. But yesterday, what was happening to me yesterday was, and this is as I was texting you guys, I noticed as I was reading back the text, there's a lot of like, ging, 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 because I was like shivering as I was texting.
Yeah.
Anytime I got out from in front of a heat source or out from under a blanket, my whole body would just lock up.
Yeah.
Like all my muscles would just.
Oh, I know that.
It hurt so bad. Yeah. But yeah, now that, like I said, it's cold, but it's not, lose all your muscles cold.
We're going to hit the 40s today. So
nice.
Mid 40s, 44, and then tomorrow, pushing 60, 58, and then 70s on Sunday, 80s Monday.
80s on Monday. I was sitting, like, just trying to get warm in front of a heater with a blanket on yesterday going, it's going to be 85 on Monday.
Then what did the world? I dream of a place.
Never gets cold and see what the Neho.
But but warm weather is on the way. So if you got weekend plans, some of them outdoors may be a-okay, especially Sunday. Should be all right.
Yeah. Hey, 70s and 80s, that's downright frolic weather.
Yeah, that's spring-like. And once again, it'll mess things up with all
of course.
With all the planting and so hold soil temperatures. Hold.
Trees are like, can we just bud? Can we just please bud now?
I didn't watch any hockey last night. I know the big deal was the Canada-U.S. game. Canada won 3-2 overtime and all that. People put, I don't know. I lost interest. I was like, everyone's making it's not even about hockey anymore. So I don't care. I just lost.
Was it Team USA versus Team Canada or was, okay.
So what the deal was.
Because I know the Capitals have a game coming up.
Yeah, what the deal was in lieu of an all-star game for the NHL, they did something different this year. They did a tournament where instead of it like being East versus West or whatever it is, they did nationalities.
Okay.
So the they basically did a mini Olympics for
Now's
hockey.
a good time to draw lines.
Yeah. So basically did a mini Olympics with hockey. All the Canadian-born players play for Team Canada, America, the All-Stars, et cetera. Same,
sure.
Russia has a team, Finland.
Yeah, something tells me India wasn't exactly going to make the finals on this one.
Not many nations were represented, but there was
the Polish hockey team couldn't make it because they drowned in spring training.
Right.
Buzzing!
The Jamaican hockey team. Oh. Oh, yeah. Not every nation was represented in this, but yeah. But anyway, so they did this style, and then, of course, they did this tournament. And then, of course, U.S. and Canada played in Canada last week, and they booed the national anthem, and that got all people feeling kind of way. And then it started this whole thing. And then they played back in Boston last night, and everyone's like, oh, payback. And then it's basically turned into this America versus Canada a la 80s Rocky versus Ivan Drago. And I'm just like, this isn't the same.
I'm just saying we need to be careful. I've seen how this plays out.
And now I'm seeing people like, and this is where I got mad yesterday, because everybody makes everything about race. And this made me mad because they were talking about fighting in hockey and how there was the 3 fights and they said, and somebody started talking about it's all white people, and that's why no one gets mad about hockey fights, because I'm just like, well, we got to make it about that. It has nothing to do with black, white, blue, or green. Hockey people just are different mindsets.
Well, that's just hack 90s comic material is all that is.
It's just
black people do this, white people do that.
Yeah, and I was like,
it's a played
like,
premise.
why do we got to turn everything into a thing? And it's like you don't get hockey. If you're saying this, you don't understand the hockey vibe. That's the beauty of hockey. Those guys will beat the snot out of each other on the rink and literally have a beer and slap backs with each other after the game. That's hockey. It's just the environment. It has nothing to do with anything. And I hate to play this card because it never sounds good when you do it. There are black players in the NHL, and they fight too. Yes, there's not as many of them, but they do exist. They do exist. So don't make it about race, because
that's fair. But it is a very white sport.
Oh, I'm not going to lie. Well, it's mostly Canadians and Russians.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
But here's the thing: when you set up something like that and you bring all the other nationalities in, you have to know that USA and Canada are going to be the final two. Like, because we are the best when it comes to hockey.
Russians ain't no joke, man. The Russians are equally as good at that stuff.
That's true.
They win gold medals in the Olympics all the time.
It's cold there pretty much year round. They can
the Russians are
they
very
can practice outside.
The Americans are the weaker of the three.
I don't really follow hockey, so I'm not real sure. But
and the superpowers of hockey countries, USA is one of the lower. There are just not as many American-born hockey players that are of the level of some of the Canadians and the Russians. You know, there's a reason why every NHL team's got a few guys with OV on the end of their last name, something off. They're Russian.
Yeah. There's a reason that when you're born in Canada, they hand you a puck. I mean, it's
what is their national sport? Like how people breathe and eat football here. Hockey's like that. Like you go to every high school, middle school. There's like an outdoor hockey rink there, like there's a basketball court or a tennis court or anything else. It's just you go to public parks, and there's an outdoor rink there like there is a basketball court or a tennis court or a park like you would go to.
That's what it's from. Okay, so growing up, I was never a huge hockey fan, but I remember a phrase that got tossed around a lot was sticks, gloves, shirt. It's from Mighty Ducks 2.
Oh.
It's how they fight. Sticks, gloves, shirt.
Right.
And then you sheath the guy, essentially.
Yeah, well, if y'all remember, actually, if you want a better sheathing lesson,
right?
I invite you to the 1980s film Youngblood.
Oh, I thought you were going to see On the Ice.
Starring Patrick Swayze and Rob Lowe. And a very young Keanu Reeves as the goalie. And the movie follows a minor league hockey team, the Mustangs.
God, Rob Lowe has never
he looks
changed.
The same.
He looks exactly the same.
He does look
as he
slightly
did in
younger,
86.
but yeah, it's pretty much Rob Lowe. But by the way, if you love Rob Lowe, ladies, there is a butt scene, and there is a little Rob Lowe nudity in that one if you want.
That's fair. Dean Youngblood is an exceptionally skilled young ice hockey player trying to make a name in the Canadian junior hockey circuit and impress scouts from the National Hockey League. However, he becomes bullied by goon Carl Racky, George Finn, a dirty player who has injured Dean's teammate and friend Derek Patrick Swayze. After Dean returns to his childhood home deflated, his father, not going to try that name, Eric such and such, tries to toughen up the hockey prodigy for a rematch with Racky.
Yes, it's a great movie.
They could have just called it Racky.
But well, that's the guy's name, Racky.
Right.
His last name. But he's like the bully.
But this was right during the Rocky hype. So I'm like, they could have just called it Racky and glommed off that a little bit.
Well, it was R-A-K-I.
R-A-C-K-I.
That's how his name is. Yeah, C-K-I.
Mm-hmm.
And well, once you see him, he reminds you nothing of Rocky.
No,
he looks like Bluto from Popeye. To be honest. And he plays for the Bombers, and he's got the black uniform, and so he just looks like the quintessential hockey bad guy,
the big bruiser.
Yeah, but that's when Dean Youngblood, aka Rob Lowe, is after he got his much like a Rocky movie, his butt handed to him the first time. When he comes back for the rematch to come back and play, after avenge his friend's Patrick Swayze's beatdown.
Oh,
spoiler. You've had 30 years to see it.
You had time, all right.
But he went home to basically with his tail between his legs back to the farm, saying he's done hockey. And then his dad, who basically was a former hockey player and was now a farmer, and he lost his dream, and he was kind of poo-pooing his kid. Now he saw him, and he's like, all right. So between his brother and him, they teach him how to fight. And that's the whole thing. You got to get his jersey, because once you get the jersey, that handcuffs his hands, and you can do. So that's the whole thing, is teaching him to get the jersey over. But I will tell you this: our guest's not here, right?
I haven't seen or heard anybody.
I'm just rambling about Youngblood. I'm just seeing him as a guest here. But we're supposed to have folks from Richland.
Not to be confused with the 5 Seconds of Summer song, by the way.
Yes,
so we're clear.
But there's one thing that every hockey player, especially kids my age, or not kids, but people that are my age and everything.
Right.
I was a kid
back when you were,
this movie was out. I was a kid, but there's in the end game sequence where you're playing the game, it gets down to a point where there's a penalty shot, and Rob Lowe's taking on the goalie one-on-one in a penalty shot. That's how hockey. That's one of the things in hockey. But when Dean Youngblood, the character, he was always a good goal scorer. He was he sucked at fighting and defending himself.
Right.
That was his problem. He could always play. He was always faster than everybody else and, could skate. So it's his time to show his hockey skills before his fighting skills. And so it shows him one-on-one with his penalty shot. And there's a move that every hockey player, as a kid, emulates. And every once in a while, I'll see an NHLer do it, and I'm like, that's a Youngblood fan right there. And what he does was he before the penalty shot, the puck's sitting there at center ice, and he kind of does his circle skate around it, and it's in the slow motion music. And as he skates around, and as he makes his final loop around to approach the puck to head toward the goalie, instead of grabbing the puck with his stick, he actually skates by the puck, does a move where he takes one leg, crosses it back, kicks the puck forward to his stick, and then goes. It looks slick as can be.
It's not,
pow, pow. and every kid, myself included, the next day was out in the front yard trying to work that move on.
What's really funny about that to me is, it's not hockey, but I literally did the same thing from watching professional bowling. It affected how I shoot.
I want to hear this story.
It affected how I shoot, because I was watching. I know. It's a Saturday. I was watching professional bowling, and I noticed how one of the guys, he had his ball, and he approached, and he took his left leg, and he tucks it behind his other leg, like squat style.
Okay.
And I started seeing a lot of them do this. And so to this day, when I bowl, I'll tuck my left leg behind my right leg, like professional bowling style, and then watch my ball fall into the gutter. To this day, every time I'll try to slick the back leg behind.
To the management of Pecos Valley Broadcasting Company. We used to have a Christmas party at a bowling alley every year. We haven't done it in a couple of years.
It's time.
For this reason, and this reason alone. Christmas party at the bowling alley this year.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, I'm down. But I don't, it subconsciously planted in my head, and ever since then it's like a curtsy almost. I know you've seen what I'm talking about. I'll find a video and show you. But I do that leg tuck thing, I'm trying to be all slick with it, and then inevitably it's gutter ball every time.
Didn't Bill Murray do a move like that in
Kingpin?
In Kingpin,
yep.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. It's almost like the way they would get low, though. It's almost like they sit down on that back. I couldn't do that. My hip will pop out of joint.
Well, see, it's just proof. That bowlers are athletes.
Athletes.
The 3-syllable version.
That's right.
Oh, man. Now I want to see a good bowling movie. Let me give you the rundown while we're checking. No guests. Okay. We are scheduled to have the folks from Richland join us here. We'll give them a few more minutes, and then if I hear nothing, we will play an interview or something here. We are going to replay an interview in the 8 o'clock hour. Unfortunately, normally we would have County Manager Bill Williams join us because yesterday we had County Commission meeting. Unfortunately, Bill is under the weather, just like a lot of people around town. He has no voice. He is not feeling good, so we're going to get him on when he feels better. Maybe sometime next week we'll get him rescheduled. So my apologies for not having Bill, but he's just sick as a dog right now. So we're giving him a pass today. Go home and get better, Bill. So we're gonna replay our interview we had earlier in the week with Ellie Rodriguez from Loan Depot. He joined us as he does every month, talking home ownership, and especially loves working with first-time buyers, things like that. So we'll play that interview here in the 8 o'clock hour. And then last week, Ray Baca joined us talking about Golden Gloves, boxing, junior championships. All that's coming up here in March. They're going to have state championships here in Roswell at Roswell High, and then next month they're going to have the regional championships in Roswell, and that's for, I guess, the Southwest. And then winners come out of that go to national. So it's really cool. So we got some major Golden Gloves boxing coming up here in Roswell in the next 2 months. So Ray joined us talking a little bit about those two events there. Plus, we'll have all of your features that include newses of the local, national variety, Wall Street business updates, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. Before we do any of that, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Fairly cool today. We have high pressure over the area through the weekend, so the overall weather pattern looks fair. Sunshine today, low to mid 40s, and the wind should stay fairly light. For the overnight hours, partly cloudy and chilly, dropping down to a low of about 20. Then we get sunshine on Saturday, warming up a little bit. We're back in the upper 50s and then 70s, and sunny on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton. That's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 17 degrees here in Roswell. Feels like -8 with the wind chill. If you want some more reassurance, that's cold out. Humidity is at 59%. Winds are out of the east at 3 miles per hour. Cold weather advisory will remain in effect through 9 a.m. this morning. We do warm up a little bit compared to the rest of the week. We'll hit the mid-40s today. Sunny skies, 44 for a high. South winds at around 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low of 21, which I think that's the first time we're not been in the teens all week, so that'll be a little warmer. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Saturday, upper 50s, pushing 60. 58 and sunny tomorrow. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 27. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. 72 on Sunday. Downright spring-like with winds out of the northwest at around 5 to 10. And then we hit 80 on Monday. Sunny and 82. And looks like most of the next week we're going to be floating around like that. 76 on Tuesday, 73 Wednesday, upper 60s Thursday. So it is still February, barely, but can't complain too much. All right, it is 7:23. We're going to take about a 3.5-minute break. And then Freddie Sosa with Richland going to join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
The Roswell Symphony Orchestra presents Shearer Plays Vaughn Williams, Saturday, March 1st at Pearson Auditorium, featuring Dr. Jim Shearer, professor of tuba at New Mexico State University, in the Vaughn Williams Concerto for Tuba and Orchestra, plus Beethoven's 7th Symphony, along with works by Barber, Sibelius, and Mozart. Get tickets and more information at roswellsymphony.org or by calling 575-623-5882. Shearer Plays Vaughn Williams, Saturday, March 1st at Pearson Auditorium in Roswell. Sponsored in part by Dr. John and Ms. Deanne Kaysen and the Roswell Lodgers Tax.
When managing a chronic illness, access to the right treatments makes all the difference. Artesia General Hospital's Infusion Center provides IV therapy and biologic treatments, so you don't have to travel far for care. Expert infusion therapy right here in Artesia. Call 575-736-8256 today to learn more.
ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true. At Martine's Capital Cafe, come in and enjoy a delicious variety for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Try our burritos, huevos rancheros, asado, chorizo, sausage, flantas, fajitas, chili rellenos, quesadillas, enchiladas, sopapillas, and don't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger and so much more. Everything is prepared with the finest and freshest ingredients. Martine's Capital Cafe. Quality, value, tradition, and the most delicious New Mexican food since 1989. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th Street in Roswell.
Great news, Roswell. Your friends at Roswell Ford have the best relationship advice ever. Break up and do it right now. Really? Yes. Break up with your old beater and upgrade for a less during Ford Truck Month at Roswell Ford. Right now, everybody gets friends and family pricing on all new and quality pre-owned vehicles with up to $8,000 off MSRP on new Fords with 0 down, 0% APR for 72 months, and no payments for 90 days. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles in prime condition starting at just $10,000. Making payments on your current car, truck, or SUV and want out early? Roswell Ford wants to terminate your current lease or loan, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. And our aggressive lenders will push to approve your credit, even if your credit is less than perfect. Huge savings, more for your trade, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR is $13.89 per thousand financed. Interest accrues from date of sale on select vehicles. Trade balance refinanced to new loan. Subject to lender approval. Offers not combined.
Tired of living with chronic pain? Softwave Therapy from Premier Chiropractic in Roswell is here to help.
I couldn't believe it. My knee pain is practically gone after just a few sessions.
Softwave Therapy for Premier Chiropractic uses cutting-edge sound wave technology to target inflammation and stimulate your body's natural healing process. No surgery, no downtime, just real relief.
Now I can finally enjoy life again with no shoulder pain.
Don't let pain hold you back. Discover the power of Softwave Therapy today from Premier Chiropractic in Roswell. Call now for your free consultation at 623-2900 or visit healthyroswell.com. Softwave Therapy from Premier Chiropractic, 1301 North Richardson in Roswell. Restoring life.
Playing dance music can help ward off mosquitoes. Now you have a reason to invite Pitbull to your next pool party. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:28, and joining us in studio this morning from Richland Motors, we have Freddie Sosa back with us. How you doing, Freddie?
Great.
It's been a minute since we've had you on the radio.
I know. I missed it.
I know. How's life in the moto world this morning?
Honestly, there's really not much to complain about.
Yeah.
I mean, things are going good. 2025 has been a good start of the year. I mean, lots of positive things happening. So, I mean, it's an exciting time.
Well, it's kind of, like literally last time we talked to you, we were still talking about COVID crap and all that stuff. And it's a whole different world now. I mean, I don't know if we're back to pre-COVID numbers, but as far as like supply, demand, incentives, back to seeing things like 0% interest in cars. That's a thing again now. You know what I mean? It's kind of back to normal.
Well, and it's getting there. I think what we're running into now is kind of the new normal. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think it'll ever go back to what it was pre-COVID. Right. But I mean, this is still a great time in the car business. Sure. I mean, everything's just there's plenty of cars now out.
Sure. Can I ask a philosophical here? And I know we're going to talk. And by the way, this month is Truck Month here at Richland. So if you're looking for GM store, Dodge store, either way, you're going to find deals there. But I am curious to, in the car industry, because the way the world's going electric now, and now governments are pushing the electric agenda, car dealers, you look at Ford and see what they're doing with their kind of stuff. How is that impacting you guys at Richland as far as electric sales versus, because we're not in a place where people are demanding electric cars because they're not beneficial here yet. They're just not, for what we kind of do. So, I mean, how does that impact what you guys do at Richland? Is it Because, I mean, you got to put your foot in the future because at some point you're going to have to, you know what I mean? The writing's on the wall. I mean, how do you guys, juggle that where it's like, no, people still want trucks with gas engines and everything else. But at some point, the world is going to change here.
Well,
you know what
I mean, I guess first and foremost, I mean, we're salesmen, so we're going to sell anything that's available for us to be able to sell.
Sure, exactly.
So,
right, whether it runs on bananas or, or whatever.
And so EVs are an exciting product.
Sure.
Now, in the area that we live in, I'm not sure it's ever going to blow up like a big metro area.
Sure.
But there's a butt for every seat, and that's kind of and so it's exciting. So
Sure.
I had my truck was in the shop a couple weeks ago for a couple days, and I drove the Hummer EV.
Okay. Gave it a dance for the first time?
Yeah, around for a couple days.
Did you do the wheel thing and all
yeah,
that?
I did the crab walk at the launch, and the main reason is because, I mean, I've been very adamant in saying, like, in the type of area we live in, that I don't think EVs will ever take off.
Sure.
Then I drive one, and then my opinion kind of changes.
Right.
And so it's a very exciting product, and there's a place for it, depending on your driving habits.
Sure.
And so on the Hummer EV, for an example, that had a 330-mile range. So for the whole time I was in it, I don't necessarily have to charge it,
Sure.
right? In it for about 4 days, able to drive it around and not have to recharge it.
Sure.
There's ways to finance very inexpensively the home rapid charger, which so we've had customers who have come in and bought EVs from us, and that's there's a term called range anxiety. And so once we talk to them about how you can install this in your house and be able to charge it a little bit different, those customers that were on the fence are coming back being fairly excited about
Gotcha.
it. And so like I said, there's a place. We sold the very first GMC Denali truck that came on our lot within 2 days of it getting there.
And I think for people that want to go that world, like the world's going in your direction. I mean, I've seen the legislative stuff. I've seen on the news. In the state of New Mexico alone, there's going to be a major push to be putting these charging stations all over the state here. So the technology is going to get better. So people that are wanting to get into this, I mean, you're getting in on kind of the ground floor right now,
and that's exactly it.
It's going to be the way of the world. I don't care what anybody says or whatever. This is going to be the future. 20 years from now, I'm going to imagine there's going to be more electric cars on the road than non-electric cars.
I mean,
take a guess at
that could very well be the case.
The technology does have to get a little better.
Yeah, the technology and the technology is amazing now.
Sure.
It's just the not having traveling is where you have the issue.
Just my gee whiz curious thing. I think the solution for that is going to be not putting more charging stations, but do like we do with our phones. Invent an invention that you could put in your backpack that charges your phone with you. Basically something that it looks maybe the size of a car battery you can keep in your trunk, and then in essence plug it in and get a quick charge on your car and then go on.
And give you another, like just like your spare tire. Yeah, give you another 30 or 40 miles.
I feel like that's where technology is going to lead us to, where it's not necessarily there's not enough of those, but you're going to have where you could put a couple of these in your car and get a quick and to get you to the next thing or something like that.
I mean, and after driving them, in my opinion, very drastically changed it. I mean, I think personally I'll still drive a combustion engine vehicle. I travel quite a bit. But I mean, if I was, let's say, living in Hagerman, driving to Roswell every day for work, an EV makes all the sense in the world.
Absolutely. Yeah, especially if you're just like, say maybe you work at Fletsy or something, you live here and you're doing that. Yeah, you get yourself a nice EV that you could literally plug in, and when you get home at night, plug in, and you'll never run out of juice. I think the where it needs to catch up is, and this is where places like here are going to need it, is in the torque and hauling side. Whereas we've got great numbers for EVs on that kind of stuff, but when it comes to hauling stuff, those numbers go down drastically now. I know they're getting better,
like that GMC. EV truck still pulls every bit as much as a half ton. You're never going to get one of them to pull like a 3/4 ton truck, but that's not necessarily what it's designed for. You got to think a half ton truck wasn't designed originally for everyday use. It was designed for a workhorse.
They start putting nice features in it and everything.
Yeah.
Then everybody started wanting to make it their daily driver.
Yeah, we as a society turned that half-ton truck into a everyday driver.
Well, kids, if you bought a pickup truck when Freddie and I were kids, usually you'd be lucky if there was even like a leather or pleather coating. Like a lot of times there was bare metal, the doors, you know what I mean? There was none. And certainly no, leather, you had a bucket seat in there, there was they had a radio. It had maybe an AC or whatever, but there wasn't all the bells and whistles. It was bare bones, and it didn't handle like a car either. The suspension, like they've altered suspensions on trucks and things nowadays to make them feel more like car rides.
Yes.
Back 30, 40 years ago when Freddie and I were running around annoying our parents, that was not the case.
Well, if you want to give kids a little bit of anxiety now, put them in a vehicle that doesn't have power windows. They have no idea what that little knob.
Hey, let me show you my Jeep I got for Richmond. I literally didn't want it on.
Yeah, I mean, how do I roll down this window?
Hey, kids, check this out.
How do I get my food from the drive-thru? There's going to be a little bit of panic there, but you're 100% right. Like my truck now is probably the best driving vehicle I've ever had. Like the suspension, I mean, it's like driving a Cadillac.
Yeah. You're there in the, I don't know, I'm going to say when the station wagon kind of faded out into the popularity and SUVs started, and that's right around the time when pickups became more of a daily driver for folks and everything else too, where people were seeing a pickup as their main. Now, granted, I grew up in D.C. area. So, I mean, I grew up in Maryland. And there was farming and things, but it's not.
It's not like what you see
not
here.
Rural here. Yeah,
you can't
roll in the city.
You can't roll up to Walmart and not see more trucks than you do car. And I mean, think about it. A car, a sedan, is phasing out of the auto industry completally now.
Well,
I mean,
that's why when I mentioned Ford earlier, that's not your guys' brand, but their whole move is I think they're selling trucks. The only cars they're really selling is like a Mustang or something that's, iconic.
Yeah.
And that's the way they're going because that's where demand is. And they're going heavy with EV too. I'm like, it feels like at some point the way the Ford's going, they're like, we don't want you to buy gas cars. We're just wanting you to buy electric.
Well, and that's I think that's kind of changing a little bit, the force to be able to, the forcing the EV upon us. I mean, I think when you take away a person's ability of choice, we have a little bit of issue with that.
That's kind of thing. It's like, look, let me find it on my own.
Yes.
Don't take my thing away and make me do it. And granted, I know humans.
Yeah.
And you literally have to push us off the cliff to do things sometimes. But you're right. We don't take kindly to saying, wait a minute.
And what I do right now is if the best thing I did was drive that Hummer for a couple days. I took it to church and let people see it. And then I encourage people when they ask questions, do me a favor, come in and drive it.
I would say that's your best move is if you're really thinking, or even if you're really against it, come do it for yourself. Say, all right, go down to Richland and say, hey, can I try one of these EV vehicles? I want to see what it's all about. I want to know, what am I getting into? Or is it as crappy as I think? Or is it way better than I think? Or is it, you're right. You got to kick the tires sometimes.
I think it's, I mean, us as a society in general, I mean, I'm just as guilty of this as anybody is making my opinion of something before I have ever experienced it. Well, and so I encourage people to at least experience it before you form your opinion.
And part of what will make the change too is guys like you and I will get older and die off. Whereas, and this is just human nature, and we just happen to be in this time. The older you get, the less agreeable to change you are.
Yes.
You find your ways in life, and you find your niches, you find your grooves, you find how to navigate life, and you're kind of like, don't mess with my deal, man.
I feel like I'm better the older I get with change. I mean,
but that's our mindset. It's not true.
Yeah,
but that's how we think. And I'm as I'm getting older, I more and more because I'm, and I'm sure you feel the same way. Things you feel about as a grown man today, opinions about things, not just cars, just life in general, is not the same when you were 20.
No, I mean, as we experience life, our opinion changes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, you know, how I feel about things and I mean, just my attitude on things, you know, and it's the youth thing, you know, that's always part of it. You know, you're young and dumb, you're out standing on the cliff, woo! You know, by the time you're in your 40s, you're like, that was stupid. Stop doing that, you know, but that's really is life. But I think that's part of going to change the EV mindset too, is as people grow up into it, they're going to be more, you know, they're going to embrace it more. They're going to, as they don't know what they had before, you know, and how it worked. And
the other thing about them is the EV is a little bit more expensive than a combustion engine car.
Yeah.
But this is also bringing in leases back into the auto industry when leases haven't been great for years. And so the best way, and that's what makes buying these EVs kind of exciting now,
right?
Is lease them. There's no commitment to it besides
you're done in 2 years
the
or whenever
couple of years that you decide to do it, and just see if it's something that works for you.
I mean, usually with leases, you get free maintenance and free everything, you know, during that time.
Your time of purchase is.
Although an EV doesn't come in for oil changes, I guess, but you know, I was thinking, come in for. Never mind.
Watch it. But yeah, that's what I encourage people is don't have a commitment. Lease them. Let's what the auto industry's missing has been for a few years is very aggressive leases, and right now with these EVs coming out, there's super aggressive leases, and take advantage of the fact that you don't have to make the commitment to purchase.
Absolutely.
Let's spend 2 years deciding if this is something
and then maybe after the 2 years you say, you know, I really like this, I want to make the full investment, or you said, no, that wasn't for me, I'm going back to a gas engine, you know. But
exactly.
That's kind of your test drive a little bit. Take a 2-year test drive on one and see it for yourself, see how it, and I will also argue this, the technology is only getting to get better from here. You know, what you're seeing, I would imagine 10, 15 years down the road, they're probably going to be very comparable in performance and everything else as the technology gets better and as innovation changes here a little bit.
It's one of the fastest, like every EV you get into is like super fast.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. They when you get electric and those things, you've seen those videos and Road and Track doing all these EV tests on all
one
the
of the things
cars.
We got our first EV charger at the Dodge store, 2-door charger, and it's John Lujan. He's one of our senior salesmen over, bringing it over to Chevy store. I've been wanting to see it, and it's funny because when you start an EV, you don't really know what's on, right? But
you don't get you don't get that.
You have speakers underneath the charger that does that sound.
Nice, to simulate it.
And so as you're accelerating, you hear that in the car. You hear it, so you feel like you're driving a regular combustion engine vehicle, but it's an EV because the way when you're sitting outside, when you're outside the car and people around you, you're still going to hear that rumble of a charger.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah,
that is so cool. I like, because I think that's important because. Especially in charger, you know, in the muscle cars.
Yeah, that's the
part
reason
of the thing.
You kind of buy it, right?
Yeah, so, you know, you can't miss that. So it's glad they're able to replicate that, and so you get all the bells and whistles, the torque, the all that, but it's electric.
Well, to me, it's baby steps. I mean, you're all the stuff you love, but
so it's like there's a movie with Kevin James and Vince Vaughn. And the movie's I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically a love. It's basically cheating on thing. But those two are. But the whole premise of the movies is a love story and someone cheating on everybody.
I know exactly which movie you're talking about. Yeah.
But the sidebar of the movie was that Kevin James and Vince Vaughn were in a startup company where they were basically almost exactly what you were saying. And I think it was a charger in the movie too, where they were trying to incorporate so it sounds like a charger and doing all that, but electric. So it's like, ooh, that really exists now. Because it was in a movie about, I don't know, 8 years ago.
Probably longer than that.
Yeah, when that movie came out. And but now that technology exists and it's in, come on down to the GM store and check it out, or the Dodge store, check it out.
Yeah, both stores have some really exciting stuff on the EV side. Some of the gas engines and diesel engines, some of that stuff's crazy about how nice they are now, and the fuel economy you can also get out of a eco diesel truck is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's lots of exciting things happening, not only in the Chrysler Dodge world and the GM world, but kind of just in the auto industry in a whole. So,
and this is the part where I do love what you do guys at Richland, and this is why I asked you because you guys always keep the foot in every world. You know, I was talking about Ford, they're kind of pushing everybody this way. And you guys are just like, what do you need? What do you want? We'll rustle it up kind of deal.
Yeah, there's a time and place for every, I mean, you're kind of setting me up for what one of the things I wanted to talk about is we've always strived at Richland to kind of make the car buying experience as easy as possible. Right. And so we have this new tool where it puts you as the customer in the driver's seat. So you can go to our website. On each car, you'll see a thing called the easy button. Click it. You can find your trade value, estimated trade value right there. You can figure out your payments right there. You can fill out pull a soft inquiry that doesn't affect your credit right there.
So you could literally walk into the dealership, do this before you walk in the dealership, know everything that you're going to tell them before you walk into the building.
Yeah, so you're walking, it's saved in our system. Yeah. Every one of our salesmen now have the ability to be able to do that without walking to a manager and figuring out.
Nice.
He wants to know what
which
his payment
speeds up
would be.
The process,
and it does.
Yeah.
And so we've it's something we've been striving for years.
Sure.
It's trying to find a way to make the customer experience
it's
as seamless as possible.
And it makes sense because it's kind of like when you go buy a home. You know, when you buy a home, don't run out with a real estate agent. You go see a lending guy and see what you qualify for and everything else. This is kind of that same way. Now before you kick the tires, you're like, okay, I can afford a car in this price range.
Yeah, so you're walking.
So now I know what to
you
look
can
for.
walk in there, and the cool thing about it is by the time you decide, we already know, right? We see what you're doing as you're playing with that tool on our website, and then someone's probably going to call you or shoot you a text or an email saying, is this something you're interested in coming down and look at? And what we're noticing right now, because this is something we started with and been training ourselves how to use since the beginning of the year, but the amount of people who are trying it now, we wanted to get good at the tool before we started talking about it. And so hence why I'm here. Let's talk about it a little bit because it's exciting that now that's always been the customer's biggest. I don't want to sit in the dealership and do the whole rigmarole of figuring out what it's going to be. I want to know what I can afford before I come in.
Yeah.
So that you have an idea the second you walk in there.
And now the cool part is you can spend that time learning about your new car, because that's the thing. Trust me, and this is where like online and all that's so great and convenient, but at the end of the day, I feel like you need to end with the handshake and the, you know what I mean? And the reason why is, and this is where the sales folks, they especially new cars, man, these things got features and things you probably wouldn't even fathom at some point. And you want to learn how to do all these cool things. And that's what I love is when you go to some of these other things, okay, the car shows up, now what? You know, I got to figure it out, read the owner's manual, do all this stuff. They literally will sit down, let me go over the features. Oh, let me show you how to set up your phone so it pairs with your car and everything else. They do all that stuff for you. So you literally, when you drive out of there, you can start playing the toys and know how to do all the bells and whistles. Ooh, look at my seat, it's vibrating. Ooh, or whatever it does, you know. That's the part I always say, that's why you need to come down to the dealership and get, because that's the part that really cements your love for the vehicle at the end. And there's no greater feeling, and that's the happiest moment for you guys.
Yeah.
You love calling someone up and say, your car is here, come get it.
Well, and that's speaking of COVID earlier, I mean, that's one of the things that COVID brought back is people weren't ordering cars pre-COVID. And so now that's back in their mind. So like we have 5 to 10 pre-ordered vehicles every month, because now the customers, like for every part of the car buying experience, now we have a person that does that job.
Sure.
We have Brandon Johnson, who orders all of our vehicles and does all of our used cars and makes sure we have stuff to be able to sell. When you talk about deliveries and learning the car, we have one person who does that for every vehicle. They're showing you exactly how to use it.
Yeah,
She's
love that.
a wizard on figuring stuff out. When you have questions, she can be able to do it. All of the salesmen can do it too, but now there's essentially a person for
that's
each.
all they do all day
Yeah.
is help people with these kinds of things, and I love that, and that's great. And but this is what I mean with that car experience and so forth, and that's where I say if you are looking for a vehicle, talk to the folks at Richland here, because you can go as high tech on this as you want or as low tech on this as you want, and they'll come get you. They'll come. I mean, and service is and that's the other thing. I haven't mentioned it yet, but because this is always, it's a given now. Whenever you buy a vehicle through Richland, you're part of the Brand Champion program, which comes with all kind of benefits for life after you drive that vehicle off the lot and everything else. And that's something, when we talk about, and this, I've said it, I'll say it one more time because I haven't said it this time, but when COVID went down and price gouge and all that stuff was going on, Richland was stayed true. There was a reason why people were coming from all over the Southwest to purchase vehicles from Richland. I mean, supply and demand was tricky, but you could get those same vehicles at other places, but they had markups crazy high, and Richland wasn't doing that.
We've
always trying to get stuff. And
we've always done really well with just within our community. Mm-hmm. But what's been crazy is since COVID and changing our pricing strategy just to be aggressive.
Yeah.
Where our customers are coming from. I mean, now all of a sudden, every month we're doing stuff for people in Dallas, Denver, just all these surrounding states that have no problem with coming down, or we ship the car to them. I mean, it's become the new normal.
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of, I'm just seeing the time we probably, and that's kind of my point is, look, at the end of the day, you can buy a Ram pickup or a Chevy pickup or whatever in lots of places.
Yeah,
it's very easy to do. The difference is what happens after. What's the next thing? When something goes wrong with the vehicle, what happens and things. And that's where I'm telling you, Richland always steps up. Always has been that.
It'll always be the difference.
And that's so when the idea is when you're done with that Chevy pickup or that Ram or that Jeep or whatever it is you have, you're going to make your next vehicle a Ram, a Jeep, or a Chevy. Or maybe you could, all right, I had a Chevy this time. I'm going to go check out one of these Dodge Rams this time. You know what I mean? But you're going to want to stay with the family because you understand that every time you walk in there, they're going to straight shoot you. They're going to give you a good deal. They're going to make the most advantageous for you, too. They understand that we're not just trying to sell you something to get you. It's an experience, and it's a thing, and it's about the family, that big time service with a small time feel. And that's, I think, Richland's always kind of been their
we
jam.
Train and encourage our guys to not be, our sales staff to not be car salesmen. We want them to be car guys.
Sure.
I want, when you have a question about tires or your car's not working or you need a tow, that we're your first phone call.
Sure.
And so the difference is, and I say this to my customers, I was like, yes, you can go buy a vehicle in Dallas. The difference is, you'll see me at church. You'll see me at the grocery store.
Right.
And when you say I'm having this issue, guess who's going to be the first person to jump up and help you?
Exactly. Or and I would even throw this out further a little bit too, is employment and stuff. You look at folks that work for Richland, it doesn't matter which GM, Dodge store and things. You see they're happier. They're there. I mean, they're people that have been there a long time, and I'm just speaking that to the culture. That's kind of the culture of the company. And anybody, even if you've never been in the industry, selling cars is a cutthroat business, and there's a reason you'll see people jump from dealership to dealer. It can be a rough life for folks that, at certain places. But you guys have made it kind of a home for your people, make them want to stay there and grow there and keep, progressing and doing their thing. And that's all I'm saying is that's all kind of an indicator. If you want to see how a company operates and see how their employees are, if they're happy, if they're doing things, chances are that's a good flag saying, you know what, they probably treat their customers the same way. And that's kind of my point is look at the proof of everything that Richland does. And at the end of the day, it's proof that customers are first. Yes, they're in the business to make money just like everybody else that's in business to make money. But you know what? They're not going to sell their soul for it. They're going to make sure you're happy with your experience at Richland. And even if they take a hit every once in a while to do that. That's what Richland's about.
Yeah.
So I invite you to come. Like I said, it is truck month right now. So if you're looking to upgrade the truck or get a new truck or get your first truck, come on down. I'm sure there's incentives at either the GM store or the Dodge store right now.
We have some of the most aggressive stuff we've had in years at our Chrysler Dodge store. So get on our website and check it out. I mean, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Some of the biggest inventory we've had in years.
Are some of those Gladiators under Truck Month?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
They're looking at them Gladiators over the Dodge store.
I'm just saying, Mike, if you're in the market for a Gladiator, it's your time right now.
The time is now.
Yeah.
The time is nigh.
It's crazy the type of money that's off of those right now.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, as a Jeep guy, and will be a Jeep guy until they pull me from this earth. I just love Jeeps. I kind of, if y'all want, but that's me. And don't be wrong, I've driven Ram pickups, love my Ram. I've had Chevys, love them. But I've just, ever since I was a kid, man, I was 16, the Wrangler, I was like, that's my jam. And ever since, and then I became an adult with hair on me, and I said, I can afford one of these now. I'm gonna
now
buy
I
one.
can get what I want.
So that's me, and so I'm almost, you know what? I'm thinking, like now I've been like, is it time? And I'm like, no, but I'm close. I might be seeing you soon. We'll see.
Let me know.
It's been about 5 years now. So, it's 2018. Shoot,
It's been 6 years.
Oh my goodness! I've had it that long. Holy
yeah.
Crap. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I think I need a schedule remote so you buy another one. That's how that happened last time.
I'm vulnerable. Good deal. But come on down. Like I said, either the GM. And by the way, if you need service on your vehicle, either service department, they've got the technicians. They've got the experience. They can handle all makes and models. They've got you covered in there. Now, obviously, if you got a Dodge, you might want to lean it over to the Dodge store. They see a few more of those than Chevys, and vice versa. But definitely. But I mean, you can bring all makes and models.
Yeah.
If you got your old Toyota or something there needs some work, they got the guys that can make it magic again here. And if you're saying it's time to maybe get rid of that Toyota and maybe upgrade, they can do that too.
Yeah.
Is there anything you wanted to cover, Freddie, that we just spaced on?
That new easy button thing on my website was one of the.
We definitely checked that out.
One of the biggest things. I think that's kind of where our business is going.
Sure.
Just to make it as simple as possible. So
very good.
I encourage you to get on the website, play with the tool, see what.
Give out the two web addresses for the Dodge and the GM stores.
rlchevrolet.com and richlandmotors.com.
Very good. And if you can't remember any of that, just Google Richland.
Yeah.
And you could probably put, if you're looking for the GM stuff, just Richland GM, or if you're wanting Dodge or Chevy or Chrysler, the Dodge, and it'll pop right up. And of course, they're all. I would highly recommend. They each have their own Facebook pages as well too. And I would like and follow those, not only to stay abreast of incentives and sales and things, but sometimes the salespeople get a little goofy and put some things up there from time to time that might tickle an ivory or two.
Yeah,
they have fun. They have fun recreating things in both stores.
And we're working on doing some cool stuff this year with that.
They got a little social media fun on there that I invite you to check out from time to time too. So, but definitely check it if you're. And that's the great thing. If you've been thinking about the car, but you didn't want to talk to a live person and everything, go to the website, click the button, and let's run the numbers, and now you know, and it's like, you know what? Now might be the time, or might want to hold off a little bit, or whatever it is. But you can make that determination from the comfort of your home there through the website. So, good deal. Well, thank you, Freddie.
No problem. Glad to be back.
I'm sure you got a few fires to stomp out here, and we'll see you. I think, is it next week we got? I know we got you coming back in soon. I can't remember what time it is.
It will be I believe the second week of next month.
Oh, is it that far away?
Yeah.
I was thinking, I don't know. I've slept since then.
Hey, man, I'll come anytime.
Well, bring a sandwich. No, you get those. And that's the other thing, too. If you come around lunchtime, you might just get fed. Just saying. They're always cooking over there. Or bringing in food. One or the other.
Yeah, we know how to have a good time.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Freddie. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time here. It is 7:58. Let's take a quick break before news here. Don't go away.
After Solomon became king of Israel, God spoke to him in a dream and told him to ask for whatever he wanted. Solomon started by thanking and praising God. He was humble and admitted he didn't feel like he was up to the task of being king. Solomon then asked for a discerning heart to know right from wrong. God was pleased with his request and gave him what he asked for. Sounds like the young king already had some wisdom when he made his request of God. Jesus taught that everyone who hears his words and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, yet it did not fall because it had a foundation on a rock. But everyone who hears his words and doesn't put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the house fell with a great crash. So how do we gain wisdom? Well, looks like we put the words of the Lord into practice.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply is your one-stop shop for farm and ranch supplies in southeast New Mexico, with a friendly, knowledgeable team that can help you find the answers to your problems, with brands you know, including Preferred, Pearson, Purina, Hypro Feeds, Ariat, Wrangler, Cinch, Justin Boots, and more. Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply is a proud supporter of area sports, 4-H, FFA, and the farmers and ranchers of tomorrow. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Saturdays 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 1105 East 2nd in Roswell. Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply, family owned for 50 years.
Space, the final frontier.
Hi, Captain. You can choose your space at Main Trailer Sales.
Fascinating. Don't cling on to that old camper. The logical choice. New Durangos, Montanas, Cougars, and Passports from Main Trailer Sales. They allow space and comfort. Boldly explore like never before.
Beam on board to that perfect camper.
Don't go camping without us. Live long and explore.
Main Trailer Sales. Don't go camping without us.
And we want you guys to thrive as young men and as young women, and we're going to help with our public policy to make it possible to do that.
Vance addressing this year's Conservative Political Action Conference. The Israel-Hamas ceasefire is on even shakier ground this morning following the latest Hamas hostage release.
The Israeli military says that the forensic identification of the 4 bodies of hostages returned to Israel by Hamas on Thursday has confirmed that one of them belongs to Oded Lifshitz, a peace activist in his 80s, and 2 others to the Bibas children, Ariel and Kafir. But the 4th body, the army says, is not that of their mother, Shiri.
The BBC's Sebastian Usher, Prime Minister Netanyahu, promising revenge for what he's describing as a cruel and malicious violation of the Gaza ceasefire. Following a Senate confirmation vote, Kash Patel is in as FBI director. He's being sworn in today. 2 Republicans, Collins and Murkowski, joining the Democrats in voting no. New York Governor Hochul says she's not going to remove New York Mayor Eric Adams from office after all, and instead will push for increased oversight at City Hall. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is down 397 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Yet another underseas communications cable is in need of repair.
Swedish authorities say they are investigating a damaged cable that was discovered in the Baltic Sea. It's the latest in a string of recent incidents of ruptured undersea cables that have heightened fears of Russian sabotage and spying in the region. The breakage was found on a cable that runs between Germany and Finland off the island of Gotland in the Swedish economic zone. Swedish police say an investigation is underway and are working with relevant authorities to clarify what happened. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson has said on social media that the government takes all reports of damage to infrastructure in the Baltic Sea very seriously. I'm Lawrence Brooks.
South Sudan closing all schools for 2 weeks because of an ongoing heat wave. It's caused some students to collapse. This is the second time the country is closing schools, drawing a heat wave in February and March. News and analysis at townhall.com. Some tense moments yesterday at a Washington landmark.
The John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts was evacuated following a bomb threat called in Thursday. A spokesperson for the Kennedy Center says the threat targeted Shin Yoon, the famous dance group slated to open its 2025 performances Thursday. Metropolitan D.C. Police and U.S. Park Police investigated. The center was evacuated, and there were no injuries. The Kennedy Center has been in the news recently after President Donald Trump replaced the Board of Trustees and named himself chairman. Bill Alexander, Washington.
Lawyers are delivering closing arguments today in the trial of a New Jersey man charged with trying to kill Salman Rushdie on a Western New York lecture stage. The 2022 knife attack at the Chautauqua institution severely injured the Booker Prize-winning author, leaving him partially blind. Hadi Matar is charged with attempted murder and assault in the attack. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel wishing, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday.
Ah, yes.
'Tis Friday.
It's
going to be a nice weekend,
yes.
weather-wise.
I just wish they'd make up their mind.
It's all aces.
Yeah.
All aces. All good.
I can't plan my wardrobe properly, you know?
No.
It's like I got shorts hanging up next to, long sleeve t-shirts and
yeah. This has been my official wardrobe of the week. Sweatpants and a long sleeve t-shirt.
Nice.
This is all I've worn all week.
That's
different ones, obviously, but yes.
That's one of the best parts about getting into this job and getting into radio is there was no dress code.
Yeah.
I mean, before the advent of cameras in the room, just as long as your bits were covered, you're good.
Yeah.
You could wear an oven mitt to work. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could do it.
Well,
socially acceptable is basically the line.
Based on my history of radio and radio personality, you don't want to be bare butting anything in a radio studio. That's all I'm saying.
That's true.
That's all I'm saying. I've seen the people that sit in these chairs.
The term face for radio usually applies. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Then they wouldn't put cameras in here. Now we're going to be all camera ready by 7 in the morning.
I'm sure they exist because they're on the internet. But if back when I used to do the morning show in Artesia, this was I started doing 07.
Okay.
I think they put the cameras in like 08 or 09.
Oh, wow. That early?
Yeah, it was about a year or two and they put the cameras in. But it was way less production than what we have now. It was literally a GoPro sitting like on a, I think it was attached to a computer monitor or something in there. And it literally was just on me. Now we fixed it so the audio we'd hear would be the radio station. So whatever was playing on the radio is what you hear as the audio for the video. But the video never went dark during commercial breaks.
Right.
It just stayed on.
So you have to be like on your best behavior.
Well, I was at first. Like at first I was cognizant of the camera. But then after a while I said, I don't care. So I sat there, and there's hundreds of hours of me picking my nose,
right,
eating donuts, scratching my butt.
I'm glad you said donuts after picking your nose.
Maybe I ate the donut second. I don't know.
Maybe it was the same hand. See, I would have fun with it. I would just mess around just so the web-only people who tuned in would get a show every day.
I did do that on occasion. I would grab things that were laying around the studio and do things in front of the camera, just to
do that thing where you pick
two.
your shirt up and you tuck it in here, so you got like the bra going on.
Nothing to get me in jail or anything, but
put on a fruit hat and start doing a little freaky dance.
I think it might have been a time where I got really into eating a donut.
Like, did you fillet a donut?
Let's just say people.
Was it a Long John?
The 3 people that saw it may not be eating jelly donuts ever again.
Oh, okay. No, I understand. So Mike prefers jelly. Is what he's saying in this scenario. I prefer syrup.
But so I'm sure it's in existence.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I got real quick, because this has been my obsession for the last 2 days.
Okay.
And I've already annoyed everybody in the room about it.
I know where this is going.
So I keep seeing the commercials for the new season of Yellow Jackets, and I'm like, I missed the first season. I never watched it. At first, I saw a bunch of high school girls and thinking it's probably not for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my cup of tea.
Right.
This is for a different age group and a different time. And then I started seeing the season 2, and they're kind of saying, see what happens when they go crazy. I'm like, what's this all about? And then I went and read the synopsis. I'm like, oh, dang, this is very interesting. So now I've been, in the first season of Yellow Jackets is on Netflix.
Right.
I think the rest of it's on Paramount Plus and all that. And I think you got to have the Showtime jobber to get season 2 or whatever. But if you want to watch the first season, it's sitting on Netflix right now.
You just gave me my out because I was thinking about picking it up. But if I got rid of Paramount Plus, it's as of March 9th, I'm done with it. So if they're going to start a second season, I don't want to get super into it.
Oh, it's about to start here. The second season. Well, and I think I'm going to guess it's going to Netflix if they're going to. But anyway,
that's the same reason. Do you know that? Full disclosure, I've yet to finish Better Call Saul. And that breaks my heart.
I'm about to say,
as a fanboy,
of all people, because you used to get on me because I was behind.
Right, but it's the last season is all I need to finish. But there was
I think it's on Netflix.
It is.
Yeah.
There was such a huge gap that I just spaced it and haven't gotten back into it.
You know what's going to happen?
Like
you got to start that bad boy over again. You're going to have to watch Better Call Saul from season 1.
No,
all the way to what is it? 6 seasons?
That was it's such a slog watching. Like, here's the thing: I've rewatched Breaking Bad at least twice through, and it's a great show. It's a fantastic show. But man, the way Vince Gilligan writes is a slog to get through.
Well, and I think Better Call Saul's a different animal because you literally
Peter Gould is the main writer on that show.
But that story's got to be told different because you're literally talking about a person that went from the shady huckster lawyer to coming from like the pedigree of a legal, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like he's got the lawyer family, the Kennedy, that heir to like He's got that background, and then we see him as the guy, basically the shady lawyer, working with cartel and various other groups and everything else. It's kind of,
it's a bit of a roller coaster because
you got a lot to explaining to do to get there. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and it's what's crazy about the story is because he goes from Slippin' Jimmy to up the prestige ladder and then crashes back down.
Well, and that's just the thing. He was always the black sheep of the family.
Yeah,
and that's kind of been the thing, and that's where it's funny because at least, those first few seasons, you're like, okay, he's got a heart. You can see there's a heart there. He's trying to do the right thing. It's like, what happened to where he gets from there to here, and that's where that story's different than Breaking Bad, where Breaking Bad is a guy that basically gets cancer and is living his life, and now it snowballs to everything else because of choices he made.
I will say I do know just from seeing stuff online about it accidentally that the last episode does complete the Gene storyline, not our Gene, the Cinnabon storyline from.
Gotcha.
Okay. So that's what I'm genuinely curious about.
Yeah, why is he always at Cinnabon? And so
I haven't finished that part of it, but yeah. So I'm real bad about completion when there's a huge gap in between. So, but I definitely need to pick that one back up.
Yeah, you should. Now that you have the time.
So, but Yellow Jackets
It's really
specifically.
so. The premise is, if you're not familiar with the show, so the premise is a 90s, like 96 era.
Yeah, it's set in like late mid 90s.
Yeah. It is a high school soccer team that has just won state champions, and so they're a big deal. They're the big, they're at their high school, they are the top dogs.
Right.
The girls soccer team, they're the ones that win championships. I guess the boys team and football suck at the schools, and that's the one good thing they got and so they're the talk of the school. But anyway, the whole premise of the show is these girls in 1996 get on a plane to go to nationals, and the plane crashes on the way there, and they are basically living like Lord of the Flies till they get rescued or whatever. I'm only 5 episodes in, so I don't know everything.
That's what I'm wondering is.
But
they set up this society.
But here's how the series picks up. The series actually picks up with them as adults.
Okay.
They're now adults, and they're like kind of semi-famous because they're like, whoa, and then they've been very quiet about what went on at the thing.
Gotcha.
And so a lot of people are making assumptions. And so the series is this flashback of there's something going on in modern times where someone's trying to out the deal. And the girls are kind of like, what's going on? And so one of them's like trying to run for state senate. The other, they're all kind of, one's a housewife now, one's off the rails, and then there's, and so, but it flashbacks back to, they're telling the story of what was going on when they were kids in the air thing, but also playing in the current timeline of who's trying to out and who's this and that. And so that's where it gets really interesting. And as I'm getting more into it, I think this thing turns paranormal. Like the things they're getting into out there is like demon type stuff.
Oh,
and so,
okay.
but to me, it's cringe. Like it's so like you watch it and you're just like, but you can't not find out what's going on.
That's how I feel about, and kind of making a parallel. That's how I feel watching the movie Step Brothers.
Yeah,
I'm genuinely uncomfortable for most of the movie, but I enjoy it.
But this is a different type of uncomfortable.
Oh, I know 100%.
It's and it's dealing with real girl stuff, and you're just like to be honest, this TV series would suck if this was a boys soccer team or something. Like it needs to be girls,
okay,
because it adds to the whole. Well, it's since it's a bunch of girls, like dudes. They're going to dress like, you get them into animal mode after a while, they're going to act like animals. That's just dudes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where to see women do it, it's a little different. And to also see it from their perspective. Like, it's just, to me, it just fascinates me because it makes it way darker. Because, like, when they get into free time, they do things that teenage girls do, like seances and stuff that guys would never do.
Right.
But that's needed to advance the story, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And so to me, it's perfect. Like, it has to be the girls' soccer team. The fact that it's all these teenage girls in the 90s with this goth, yet that all that was going on in the 90s, it's just this perfect storm of creepy but interesting.
Okay.
And it just, and maybe it's because now I'm a little older. Like, I was a 20-something when these in their heyday. Like, in the mid-90s, I'm in my 20s. I'm living, Air Force life and young man. But I relate to that because it's very similar to close to what I grew up with.
Right.
But it's so now I'm telling you this right now. It's a dark show. It's more in the horror genre than it is. It's a drama, but
yeah, there's
a lot of blood and guts, a lot of satanic, twisted type things going on here. You're dealing with demons and all that. But it's. Like I said, I'm only about 5 or 6 episodes in, but I'm like, I don't know I need to know what happens next. I don't know if I want to know, but I need to know. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, I don't.
You know what? I will say
one of
something
those.
though. I learned something about you this morning.
Yeah.
Because Mike came in and he played he was saying that for the last couple of days.
Oh, that song just
he's
stuck in
had
my head.
the theme
song, yeah,
stuck in his head, and so he played it. And one thing I noticed from the other room is it's a very interesting time signature. So what that tells me about you,
okay,
because Mike doesn't generally like music.
I don't.
Mike likes Metallica.
I do.
A band that is renowned for having absolutely bananas time signatures.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the thing is, if you don't like music, you like complicated music.
You might be right.
I think
you might
like
be right.
Complicated. Like
that makes sense to me.
I think if you ever like sat down and listened to like an old Brahm or like a Liszt sonata or something like that has all these different time signature changes in it, I think you'd really dig it.
You know what? That's a good observation.
Because as I'm listening to that this morning, I'm like, I couldn't even pick up on the time signature. I think it's like it sounded like it was 7/8 switches to
it kept
4/5
going back and forth. Well, it kept doing the dark, but then it also had that Munsters feel to it too. So it kept messing with those two time signatures. And then you get the voices going, oh, never mind. I can't do it because I keep doing it. It's going to my head. I got to stop because the earworm will not go away if I don't keep talking about it.
But yeah, so Mike, it's not that Mike doesn't like music. Mike only likes the best music. It's
I'm a snob.
You're like the Emperor's New Clothes of music. Only the finest threads for me. Thank you.
I'm a bougie music listener. I'm bougie.
There it is. Bougie. We found it out.
All right, I got to get the hour going because I've been busy being bougie. We're going to play our interview with Elliot Rodriguez. Unfortunately, Bill Williams is... I just got a text from him. Looks like we'll talk to him at Tuesday in the 8 o'clock hour. Hopefully he's feeling better by then. But we're going to play our interview with Elliot since he's can't make it with us today. But let's take a quick break, and then on the other side, we'll play the interview. Don't go away.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Picture this. You're behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor. You're effortlessly breaking ground, moving piles of rocks just by moving a lever, and enjoying the sun as you clear brush across your pasture. We could keep trying to put you in the moment, but to really understand what this feels like, you just have to get in the seat.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com. Are you ready to succeed? At ENMU Roswell, they cater to your educational needs. Their dedicated facilities and faculties provide you with an exceptional learning experience. From academic programs to behavioral sciences, business, health education, or technical education, ENMU Roswell offers a wide variety of certifications and degree programs designed to take your education and experience to the next level. Register now on campus or online at roswell.enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Success starts here.
Do you know what the hardest part of dealing with the roofer is? Just trying to get them on the phone. Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I want you to know that you can always trust Trustmark Roofing to answer our phone. Need a free roof inspection? Just call us at 575-755-ROOF, and we'll answer with a live person, a real human being. Have a roofing project already going with us and need to discuss it? Just call 575-755-ROOF, and we will answer the phone. No answering machine, no voicemails, and no weird robot automated attendant. That's because at Trustmark Roofing, we're all about relationships and treating people right. That's true for customers and vendors and insurance companies and employees. Anyone and everyone who comes in contact with our company. So if you have any roofing needs at all, trust Trustmark to treat you right and to answer the phone. Our number again is 575-755-ROOF, or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber to home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
You there! What are these?
My glasses, Your Highness. They're
incredible. Who made these?
The eyesight in Roswell. Or was it Hobbs? Or maybe Carlsbad.
So well crafted and stylish. So, the eyesight thinks they can challenge my throne with their quality eyewear.
Actually, Your Majesty, I got 2 pair and an eye exam. It was so easy. I did it during my lunch break, and they even took my insurance.
Lunch break? Who gave you a lunch break?
Human resources, Your Majesty.
Silence! I'll get you eyesight!
The Eyesight, now accepting new patients 5 and up in Roswell, Hobbs, and Carlsbad.
3 locations?
Clearly the best in sight.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
You are 13.8% more likely to die on your birthday. Think about that the next time you want to celebrate your birthday month. Here's Mike Winters.
Yes, in studio. And good morning. It is 27 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from Lone Depot, Elliot Rodriguez back with us. Good morning, sir. How you doing today?
Doing good. Good morning, Roswell.
How's sound a little? It sounded better than yesterday. Yesterday your voice was way.
Oh,
worse.
it was bad yesterday.
Yeah. Today it's you can hear Elliot in there sort of.
I even feel better. I think it was all the stress and work and everything, and all the allergies kicking in, and all the stuff is going around.
Well, so a lot of people.
It was trying to catch up.
COVIDs and flus and stomach bugs and all kind of things are going on around.
Yeah,
right
but
now,
you know what Elliot said? Like, no, you're not going to take me that one.
Teflon Elliot.
Yeah, like,
just slides right off.
But it was starting to kick in. You know, I was talking to Omar, my new guy, and he could like, yeah, you're a little out of it. You're not the same as every day.
Yeah. But for folks not familiar, Elliot joins us each month to. We generally talk about the housing market, when to buy, and it's always when to buy if you need a house, but the financial side when everyone, the fun part of house buying is picking out the house and getting the, I want the one with the blue, this and that, and, this tub and 6.2 whatevers and all that. Mm-hmm. But before all that fun, you need to find out, A, how much you can afford, and then know, and A, if you're in the right spot. So that's where you got to see Elliot first, to talk to him and say, hey, let's look at your finances, because you may be thinking you're looking at your $300,000 house, and then Elliot says we're only good for $200,000. So let's.
And it happens more than often.
Yeah.
And a lot of people wanted to just do that. But that's the thing. We bring into reality, and that way, they don't get discouraged. Because the worst thing, folks, that you can do is go out there and start looking at houses, and you don't even know which one you can buy. I mean, that's a big, bad thing to happen to.
Well, you're setting yourself up for letdowns and everything else, and here's the thing too: is this is where Elliot talks to a lot of first-time buyers, and buying a home is much like a job. When you apply for a job, and it's the first time you ever got a job, CEO or president is not one of those positions you're going to be able to apply for, unless you start your own company.
And even then.
Yeah. Now, coming into the game with a home and you don't really have a credit, or you don't have any kind of, any of that stuff, you're not making 6 figures a year. You're doing, if you're not doing that, but you still want a nice home, guess what? Your first home is not going to be a $500,000 home. It's just not. But you know what? We can get you a $100,000 home, and you start building your equity up. You start investing into this one, and your next house could be a $500,000 home.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be your forever home the first time.
Exactly.
Now, if you get lucky, folks, I have to say it like this: if you get lucky,
sure,
and that happened to be your forever home, awesome. That's the greatest thing that can ever happen if you think about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it could be your first starter home. Like we always talk about it here. Kind of put your foot into the game, and then you're part of the system now.
Yeah.
And then you could actually, eventually buy a better house.
And generally how it works, if you're doing it kind of I don't want to say the right way, but what a lot of people do is, if you buy your house and your house grows as your family and your needs and your life grows. Whereas when you start out young, you probably don't have kids yet. You have a boyfriend, girlfriend, maybe a fiance or husband, wife at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But there's really not a lot going. You're young. We're going to assume you're in your early mid-20s, that area. You don't have a lot of responsibility yet. You haven't hopefully incurred a bunch of debt yet, and things like that. That is the time where you talk to Elliot, and you're probably entry levels at your various careers at this point, and things, and you say, hey, let's get you in a nice. Hey, we can get you a nice 2-bedroom.
Yeah,
and we can get you a nice little thing, and it's we'll say $150,000. Your mortgage works it out. We get it. You're paying $800 a month or whatever the interest rates are at the moment. Those are the numbers you talk when you talk. But and then and then you go out there. But then you're in that house for a year or two, and you start paying your mortgage. And then if you're able to, you pay more than what your mortgage is, and you're building up more equity. And there's no penalties for that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
in the real estate world, they don't mind you pay early on.
Yeah, in New Mexico, there's no penalty.
In New Mexico, yes.
In New Mexico, there's no penalty payments.
Yeah.
So that means, folks, a home is not really for 30 years. That's it's just the way it's set up, just to make the payments easier. And it's, the fact of the matter, we as lenders do want you to really pay your house off.
Absolutely.
We don't really want you to stay and something goes crazy and you lose your house. We don't really want that. Okay. We actually want people to pay their homes.
Sure.
Simple as that. And one of the things to keep in mind is I'm very proud of the folks that I have helped that are real young, and they get a real nice house. They got the foot in the door now, and now if they do the right thing,
exactly,
when they get married and have kids later, they're set. I mean, I have always said it. I wish I would have bought a home when I was really even younger than what I did.
To be honest, that's the lesson. If I could tell anybody now is don't wait till you're 27. Wait till you're like 22, 23.
Yeah, if you can buy a house, buy it.
That would have been because I was 27 before and that was a little. Well, it wasn't too bad. I've seen later, but you've talked about Dad and other people. They were saying you're
yeah. Because I went through the same thing. I wish I would have bought the home. Way young when I was younger, but you know what? It's okay, because we learn and we teach it to everybody else.
Right.
And the folks that are listening out there, hopefully you guys, understand what we're trying to tell you.
Absolutely.
We're not trying to tell you to get in debt. It's just you're going to get in debt eventually to buy a home. Get it sooner.
Well, and to be honest, that if you don't spend more than your means allow, that's good.
Yeah, you'll be good.
That's a good debt to have. Like that. A home ownership debt, unless you make $20,000 a year and you have a $12 million home, that's going to not hurt your credit. That's not going to, it'll actually help. Because it's having a home. It also makes you stable. A renter is a fly-by-night person. They're harder to track down. They're harder to whereas you have a permanent address that you're making a payment on that there is consequences if you just up and leave it.
No, yeah, your status changes completely.
Yeah, it really is. You're not the flight risk. You're more. And I know 99% of you would never think of doing that stuff, but in terms of X's and O's and what computers check and risk factors and all that stuff,
that's part of
it's just part of that equation. They don't take in the effect that your personal life and I'm a Christian and been to church and never would steal about it. Doesn't look at any of that stuff. Doesn't care. Doesn't look at that kind of thing.
Yeah, let's not look at the track record of that stuff.
Yeah, but it looks at your history and the numbers and your job and this, and it's all stats.
No, but talking about that, about buying a home when you're young and stuff like that, folks that are listening out there, if you're thinking about buying a home, don't be afraid. You haven't saved enough money. Yes, I want you to save money. Because when you buy a house, you don't want to be broke anyway. But this is the blessing on the country that we live on.
Yeah,
I deal with it every day.
So many programs.
There's so many programs, folks. I'm going to touch base on a few programs so people can actually start learning and taking advantage of some of them because they're there for the taking, folks. If you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. And they're there for you.
And the programs exist because at the end of the day, America is better financially when we own our homes and are renting them from other people.
Yeah, it's part of the consumer cycle.
It's just better for the numbers. The stock people love it. Everybody loves it when you and I are homeowners and not renters.
So the state of New Mexico folks have MFA, and we have Terry from with us in the end of the year last year, and she was talking about their programs. So just to clarify something, it's not only for first-time home buyer folks. So there's programs for first-time home buyers and repeating buyers as well. You just have to be able to qualify for it.
Sure.
They will give you the money for the down payment of your home and some money also for closing costs. It's not free money, but it's money there that you don't have to be able to qualify to be able to purchase a home.
And it does make a game changer.
Oh, yeah,
you don't have to put down 10% of the cost of the home on the jump, because that's usually the bulking point for most people. I can make the payments. I can't drop 10% right now. That's the problem.
Let's be realistic. Right now, so many people are paying $1,200, $1,500, even higher than that rent at this very moment.
And that's the problem. Is I guarantee you're probably paying at least double of what the mortgage is on whatever property, like whatever you're paying for rent.
In some instance, you are.
You're probably paying as much as double.
But the idea, folks, is there's programs out there. I mean, why should you not have yours? Okay. Let's be honest. We talk about all the political stuff and all the stuff that's happening, who's supposed to get what or whatever. As an American, okay, or as a resident here in the United States, and you're doing the right thing, you're part of the game. So don't stay. What is it? Don't be a bench warmer. Don't stay on the benches.
Right.
Jump into the game and take your part for you.
Home ownership is an investment in yourself and nobody else.
Because
it really is.
You keep paying money in rent for everybody. I mean, I feel bad when I hear I've been renting for 20 years and they finally decided to buy a house. I was like, imagine if they would have bought a home a long time ago.
Well, and look, if you've got your nest egg and you're doing your thing and you're just in a temporary situation or not looking and renting, there's nothing wrong with those kinds of things. But if you're trying to do your family and establish a life and establish roots and that kind of thing, the longer you rent, the harder you're making it on yourself to establish those roots.
Correct.
The more you invest your money that you're going out back into your own self, and really the only way you do that at that level is buying the home. It's kind of like college. You spend all the money to college because you're investing in your own education. Home ownership's the same way. You invest in yourself that first home, because now this first home, and granted, it's not the Taj Mahal. It may be just a nice little 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom.
You can make it the Taj Mahal, though.
But exactly, it's what you put into it, what you do to it, and then you're building equity. And guess what? You pay a couple years in that. Next thing you know, you got 50, 60 grand in equity sitting there that you can put towards the next house, which can now be a little nicer.
And it's very true, folks. The phrase, home is where you make it. Guys, you just need to get your first home.
Yeah.
Make it nicer if you want to. And that's your castle.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why it's so we tell this stuff, and this is why you really at the end of the day love and working with a first time home buyer.
Yeah, I love it because I love to teach them.
Yeah.
Okay? I love to guide them, and it's a very rewarding thing when I go to folks. I take pictures. Not because I like to see Elliot on picture, because trust me, I'm not. I don't think I'm that charismatic on a picture.
But it's to give it's also to show people, let's say, because at the end of the day, we're Roswell, New Mexico. Everybody knows everybody. It's like, oh, well, shoot, if they can get a house, I can get a house.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah.
I love it when somebody calls me, oh, I want to go and take a picture with that key.
Yeah.
It's like, what is it talking about? It's like, my friend bought a house. I want to buy a house too. It's like, that is so awesome to hear.
Absolutely.
Because, it's like something that keeps going.
It's an inspiration to others.
But it's there, folks. MFA gives you the assistance to be able to buy a home. Okay? And to further push it even farther than that, my company, Loan Depot, have a program called Access Zero. It's our own exclusive program.
Okay.
We have an agreement with the government, and they will actually give us the money for the down payment of your house as well.
Oh, wow.
So and this is an FHA approach, okay? So if you bought a house before and you happen to have a house right now and you don't have money to buy another home, but you outgrow the house that you have, you could keep that house and rent it out or something.
Sure.
Okay? Or give it to your kids or whoever you want to and get yourself a better house if you want.
Do your homework if you're going to do that,
yes.
though.
Yeah,
property rental is a job in and of itself.
It's a different animal, folks. I used to do that, and I don't even do it anymore.
Do your studying before you decide to dive into that one.
I had to admit the benefit outweighs the inconvenience.
But you can make money if if you are knowing what you're getting into. That's all.
so we partner with the feds, and we actually are giving money for the down payment. It's not free money either. It's very similar to MFA,
right?
But it's actually exclusive to Loan Depot, and it's really cool because that means you could buy a home even if you already own a home before. Okay, and the income, there's no limits. So if you had a good job and you're making good money and just happened that you didn't save enough,
sure,
or you don't want to touch that money, they still give you the money to be able to buy a home.
Nice, so you could use it maybe
to fix up the place more.
I would say maybe use that towards renovations.
Yeah,
or
so
anything,
you have your money, you could, and you know what I always said, it not to be broke when you buy a house. Okay, and it's not a good idea.
Sure.
I mean, I get it. You could sacrifice if you have to.
Sure.
But in the end of the day, I would love people to have a little money in the bank when they buy a house.
Well, and this is something, too, we haven't discussed, but you also need to remind, for folks that don't understand this, too, is like, say you buy that first house and it doesn't meet quite the specs, and you do use that money and actually do upgrades, add a room, or whatever it is you're doing to it. The beauty of it, when you do it to a home you own, you get that money back when you sell it.
Oh, I hear all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm renting here and I fix this and I fix
you
that.
actually might make
what?
money on it. Sometimes you have an outdated kitchen. You spend, I don't know, 15, 20 grand.
Yeah.
Updating the kitchen. You will see probably double that in return when you sell the house. That'll probably add another 20, 30 grand in value easy to the house. Whatever you spent is double to that. That's the kind of thing we're talking about here, and that's what we're talking about investing in.
So the programs are there to help you.
Yeah,
you know.
But that's what we're saying. The long-term stuff is you get your foot in the door now with these programs, even if it's not the home that's not exactly the thing you're looking for, but you can make it there with a few easy things.
A couple years ago, we had a program that was giving people the $25,000. It was literally a grant. That means you didn't have to pay it back, folks. I had a lot of people approve, and can you believe a lot of people got a little too picky, and they didn't buy a house? That's like, how can you do that?
Right.
I was giving approvals, and it's like, just choose a house.
Sure. Get your foot in the game.
You're part of the game. I mean, $25,000, folks.
And
it's like I didn't understand that.
And here's the good thing is now when you're buying a house, and 99.9% of us are using a lender to do so. You're not rolling up with a suitcase full of cash buying a house. That's the 1% of us that do that. Which means because of that, even if you're not so knowledgeable on, because the first time you buy a home,
you don't know
you learn
everything.
lessons. You're like, that was something I should have looked for.
But that's why you have us.
But here's the thing. You might get a few of those, but lenders, there's a whole lot. This is why appraisals and inspections are done, because guess what? Companies like Loan Depot, they're not going to give you $200,000 for a house if they don't kick the tires on it themselves and say, is it worth 200 grand? All right?
Very true.
And so,
there's no such a thing,
And so you do get those protections. So even if you're worried about, okay, this is cheap, but is it structurally sound? The buying process will work that out. And then if you come through and say, oh man, this thing's going to be a fire trap,
gotcha.
Then guess what? No one's giving you money, and you move on and find another house.
Now,
that's how that works.
Let's flip the dollar on this.
Yeah.
So our town needs homes because they're old.
Sure.
We got a lot of old houses that are a little stressed, need a little love.
Need work.
We have the 203K, program, folks.
So if you're a homeowner and wants to get your house fixed up,
so if you own a home,
Depot can help you.
So if you own a home and it needs some fixing, if you own a home, it got flooded, we can help you fix it. Okay. Also, if you're purchasing a home that is distressed but it's still livable, actually, folks, you don't even have to be livable. You just have to be able to, want to buy it.
Sure.
We'll give you the money to fix it up so it's livable.
Excellent.
So do not be afraid. There's first-time home buying programs.
Sure.
There's repeating programs, for repeating buyers. And there's money and loans to be able to fix a home.
And I imagine there's a lot of folks that now that kind of FEMA's come and gone a little bit, that if you missed out on some of those windows.
Well, there's a lot of people that still having problems,
Sure. And like if you're in the process now, that's still going on. But to really file new claims now, it's a little late in the ballgame to do that. But if you're already filed, there's still work with everybody and all that. But that's kind of where we're at right now. But either way, if you're on on the short end of that one, maybe
Yeah,
talking
the
to
2 or
Loan
3K
Depot.
is the way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, and folks, we could literally, this sounds crazy, we could, from the bottom up, we could make your house back to normal.
Yeah.
Okay? You just have to be able to come to us and qualify with us, and we'll tell you what you need to do.
Sure.
Okay? And we'll guide you. I got a good team, And
that's where you work with people, and you really. Whereas you go to a lender and they're just going to tell you if numbers work or don't work. You'll sit down with folks and say, look, the numbers work, but they're going to be tight here. If we do this, it won't be as
Correct.
tight. Or look, the numbers don't work now, but if you do this, this, and this, see me in 2 months, they're going to work.
We will do that.
Yeah,
and a lot of people think like, why you waste your time? You know what? Everybody deserves to have a home.
Exactly.
So to me, it's not a waste of time.
And these are kinds of things that you can tell when people are committed and people want their families and they want to.
Because if that was the case, folks,
Well-
I'll be rich right now because I have a lot of people that would have proven didn't buy a house.
And everything starts at the home, man. Where everyone's dreams, wherever you want to go, if you don't have a good base, it's hard to get there. And so you provide the base, man.
and I love what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of the things that I never thought I was going to be a mortgage guy. Jesus Christ, I was going to school to become a counselor or some kind of doctor.
Sure.
And now, what is it? I'm the doctor of mortgage, I guess. We need to come up with a nickname for me. Really, we need to come up with a nickname. But
work on that.
we need to work on that.
Dr. Mortgage.
Dr. Mortgage or something like that. No, but my point is, folks, don't be afraid. Don't worry about who is president of the United States, who's not. Don't worry about what's happening in the government. Don't worry about what's happening in the market. You need a home to live. Come and talk to us. We're going to help you. Okay.
And that's just it. Interest rates, if you're playing that game, you can only play that game right now.
Oh, you will never buy anything.
Well, the only people that can really do that right now is if you're kind of sitting in a situation where you're fine either way.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're sitting in a thing and you're like, my house is fine, I don't need to move.
Exactly.
I'm good to go.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I can. The interest rates are a little bit dip. I don't need to
I'm
make
gonna
a
wait
move.
a little longer. Whatever.
Yeah, I can wait for it to dip.
Mhm.
Right. I'm in a. But if you're in a situation, it's like, no, I'm new to town. I need a house, or I just got a new job, or life just happened. We got married. Whatever it is, you get those moments in life. You need a house. You need a house. And so, I get the renting thing, but talk to Elliot first. Sit down and say, what are you paying now, or can you pay for rent right now? Let's see if we can find you a mortgage that's that same thing. And oh, by the way, instead of paying rent now, and now here's the other thing too is I get because other people argue about, well, what happens when the refrigerator breaks, or what happens when you got to fix it. But you know what?
It's
That's
yours now.
easy to navigate too.
It's a little different,
Guess what? You live in a world where you can app anything now, and you can get some idiot to your house to fix a refrigerator.
You are not kidding. And folks, when you buy a house, you can. Me personally, I don't have one, but I have it when I bought them.
Yeah.
You could have a home warranty. Okay?
Yeah.
All you
As a
do
matter
is-
of fact, a lot of homes come with those. Like that's worked into the contracts. a lot
And
of
guess
times
what?
Now.
That means you pay a service code fee. That they come and fix up whatever needs to be broken, and they even replace them.
Absolutely.
They even replace them.
Absolutely.
If they have to.
I've used my home warranty. I've let's see, the house I'm in now, it came with a home warranty for a year or whatever. The AC went out within the first year.
No kidding.
Cost me $75. Oh, I'm sorry. It cost me $300 because there was $250 because my AC unit's on the roof. So they had to bring a crane in to get it up there. I had to pay $250 for the
crane.
So
Okay.
that's what it cost me, $350.
And they took care of the rest.
Yeah, and that was probably a $10,000 purchase.
Seriously, it's the way it is.
And that was within a year of buying my house.
And folks, I have a staff. It's not me by myself anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, I got Luis, I got JC, and now I got Omar, and I'm working on my fourth. Okay, so it's gonna be 5 of us pretty soon if God permits.
Nice.
Okay. So
you can take a day off every once in a while.
Oh, well, that's the idea, Well, trying to, we are the lender of choice. We're trying to be the lender of choice for the area.
Sure.
To show everybody where to go to be taken care of.
And this is something that I've always said where Loan Depot does have the advantage here. They are the local feel where you've got people right here, people, in your neighborhood doing your thing. But at the end of the day, Loan Depot is one of the largest lending institutions in the world. They got the muscle to do what they got to do to get you
That's
the
a
stuff
fact,
they
folks.
need. So it's kind of like the muscle from the big boys, but the service and care of the little guy kind of thing. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I told a guy that, if Lone Depot's here in town, I brought him here to town, and the guy looked at me and smiled, like, because it's a big guy, in business. And he's like, oh, okay. So yeah, I might be a little fish, but I swim pretty fast.
Well, and do your homework, but read the whole Lone Depot story.
Yes,
it really is. It's lenders getting together.
It's a big deal.
Tired of the game and said, we're going to change the game. And that's what they did, basically. And it's really cool.
And they're going to keep fighting to be number one eventually. That's the whole idea. You know?
So call Elliot direct. You don't have to call. I mean, there's a 1-800 Lone Depot or something out there you can call, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but
you need to call us directly. So that
but
way
just
we can take care of
call Elliot direct. You can reach him by cell 719-237-4680. Again, that's 719-237-4680. You can call the office here. It's a 505 number, but it'll ring here. 505-449-2070. Oh, hold on. 505-445. My stupid glasses, my eyes. 505-445-2070. And then, of course, you can come on by his office here on West 2nd, 204 West 2nd.
Yes, sir.
Come on by Suite 5 here. It's really nice right over there. And by the way, if you need alterations, there's that place right there.
Plaza West, across the street from the police station. Yeah. You literally leave the police station parking lot, and you just cross the street.
Right back
going
over
to
there.
my other parking lot.
Yeah.
And we're right there. You can.
You're on the hunt for burritos or something. You'll find them.
Yeah, because we're right there on the street from it.
But come on by there and let Elliot or any of his team work with you.
Yes.
And sit down and have a conversation. Start with that. Start with the conversation. Yes. And let's see what Elliot can do.
We'll lead you to the right spot and what you need to do. And one thing I can promise, my team will do everything we can to help you.
It can be, especially if you're first time dipping a toe and don't know this stuff.
We'll guide you.
Let him kind of Sherpa you through this and navigate and do it the right way. Because that's it. Is you get people that, because at the end of the day, everyone's trying to make a buck off you, Elliot included. But Elliot understands the family thing, and he's like, "Look, I'm going to make my money. Don't worry about it. But I wanted you to get the most bang for your buck."
It's just funny.
Exactly.
I've been making this comment, which is true.
Yeah.
It's not about money.
Sure.
Okay. To me, it's not about money. It haven't been about money for a long time.
Right.
I mean, and folks, don't get me wrong. That's my career. I do make money doing what I do. But it's not about money anymore.
But you're building reputation.
It's about helping people and take care of his stuff.
And that, why he loves working with first time folks, because guess what? When the first time folks has success first time, now it's time for their second time and their third time and their fourth time.
They tell their brothers and sisters, their friends.
They're coming to Elliot, knocking on his door, saying it's time for a new house. And hey, the kid is now moving out, needs his own pad now. That's what Elliot's.
No, it's awesome. I actually took care of my neighbor's kid. And I was very proud. He bought a very nice house.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. And I even tell him, I'm proud of you. That's so cool because, now when you decide to get married or whatever, you have your house.
You got the foundation.
Yeah, you're good.
Insert family here. Yes. Elliot, as always, appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Go wrangle over at the office.
I know. Stay warm, folks. It's like it's trying to snow, but I don't know if it's going to happen.
The cat's been away for a bit. The mice might be playing. Might get over there and regulate.
You ain't lying.
Thanks, Elliot. Appreciate you. 9:54. Let's pause for a quick break before they kick me off the radio. Actually, let's do SRM business and then a quick break.
A child's death in Eddy County last year has now led to the arrest of the child's mother and her boyfriend. Little Kaylani Sue Moreno's remains were found alongside the road near Queen Highway, State Road 137, back in September. After months of investigation, the Eddy County Sheriff's Office reported Thursday that the child's mother, Brianna Ariel Stallings, and her boyfriend, Manuel Tomas Guillen, had both been arrested. Stallings is charged with tampering with evidence and conspiracy, while Guillen is charged with intentional child abuse resulting in death and tampering with evidence. After asking for the public's help, Roswell police say they found and arrested a child sexual assault suspect. RPD sent an alert asking for help in finding 26-year-old Jeremy Moore of Roswell. Police said they obtained an arrest warrant for Moore in regards to the sexual assault of a young girl. Later on Wednesday, police said Moore had been found and was arrested in the Hagerman area. No other details were provided. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Last day of the regular season, boys and girls basketball, and the Roswell guys are trying to keep pace with the Hobbs guys. Both have 4-1 district records. So Roswell is 20-5 overall. The game starts in Clovis tonight at 7 o'clock for the Coyotes. Meanwhile, the Goddard Rockets playing at home against Artesia in boys basketball. Artesia's already wrapped up the district. They've got a 5-0 district mark. Goddard can pull even in the district standings with a victory. That, again, starts at 7. That game will be preceded by the girls' game. Both Artesia and Goddard girls are at 1-4 overall. And the Roswell girls still seeking their first district victory. And this is the last chance, as Roswell 13-12 overall, 0-5 in district, will host Clovis, which is pretty good, 20-5 overall, 3-2 in district. That starts at 7. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Fairly cool today. We have high pressure over the area through the weekend, so the overall weather pattern looks fair. Sunshine today, low to mid 40s, and the wind should stay fairly light. For the overnight hours, partly cloudy and chilly, dropping down to a low of about 20. Then we get sunshine on Saturday, warming up a little bit. We're back in the upper 50s and then 70s, and sunny on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton. That's your latest forecast.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
I'm James Flippin. U.S. stocks finished lower yesterday. A big-time sell-off on Wall Street. The biggest talking points for the market. One of the biggest talking points for the market, Walmart, as the big box retailer, is sort of a market mover. Anytime it shares corporate results, investors pay attention. In this case, it was the forecast for Walmart that made an impact. The company issued downbeat or disappointing forward-looking guidance, and that not only sent its share price lower, but other competitors in the retail space slipped in sympathy. As Wall Street watchers say, Walmart's one of those companies that when it delivers bad guidance, it's something worth paying attention to. The suggestion is that perhaps consumer spending is tapped out. Economic data. Unemployment claims up slightly last week. Initial filings for jobless benefits were up 5,000 week over week. Today, look for the final consumer sentiment numbers for February and existing home sales for January. We mentioned Walmart earlier. Elsewhere in company-specific news, Carvana is reporting quarterly earnings that topped Wall Street's expectations. The used car marketplace announced yesterday that both revenue and earnings per share beat expectations. The company's revenue listed at more than $3.5 billion. That's up 46% from the prior year period. With business, I'm James Flippin.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
Larry Kudlow here with an urgent warning. While we celebrate Trump's historic win, inflation continues to drain your IRA and 401k, and China is now targeting your money with a kill shot on the dollar. That's why thousands of Americans are shielding their savings with gold and contacting the experts at Colonial Metals Group. For a free gold guide that explains everything you need to know, please go to freegoldguide.com/Kudlow or just call 800-621-3908 for your free gold guide and find out if you qualify for up to $7,500 in free silver.
Great news, Roswell. Your friends at Roswell Ford have the best relationship advice ever. Break up and do it right now.
Really?
Yes. Break up with your old beater and upgrade for a less during Ford Truck Month at Roswell Ford. Right now, everybody gets friends and family pricing on all new and quality pre-owned vehicles with up to $8,000 off MSRP on new Fords with 0 down, 0% APR for 72 months, and no payments for 90 days. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles in prime condition starting at just $10,000. Making payments on your current car, truck, or SUV and want out early? Roswell Ford wants to terminate your current lease or loan, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. And our aggressive lenders will push to approve your credit, even if your credit is less than perfect. Huge savings, more for your trade, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR is $13.89 per thousand financed. Interest accrues from date of sale on select vehicles. Trade balance refinanced to new loan. Subject to lender approval. Offers not combined.
Hi, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture, and I want to tell you about our store-wide sale happening now. All items in every department are on sale. Upgrade your living space with power reclining sofas and love seats or beautiful sectionals with charging ports. Create ambience with amazing table and floor lamps. Get that long-awaited restful night's sleep with the new Serta mattress. Every department is on sale from our existing prices. So come down to Glenn's Furniture on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
Hi, Chef Anthony Noble here with the Valley Cafe at 801 West Brasher. We love serving you our delicious meals for lunch and dinner. The next time you're in on Monday or Tuesday, bring the family and take advantage of our kids' dinner special. With the purchase of an adult meal, you get a kids' meal for 20% off. That's right. Get the kids fed, save a little money, and enjoy what I got cooking in the kitchen. Come visit us at 801 West Brasher in the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell. We have it all. Come taste and see.
Don't forget, you can also find the Valley Cafe on our website at toasttab.com/Valley Cafe. Also on DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Some wounds need expert care to heal properly. At Artesia General Hospital's Wound Care and Hyperbaric Medicine Center, we use advanced treatments like hyperbaric oxygen therapy to help chronic wounds heal faster. If you or a loved one has a wound that won't heal, call 575-736-8235 today and take the first step toward recovery.
Roswell's home for talk radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
There's a new sheriff in town, and they're pinning the star on his chest today. Incoming FBI Director Kash Patel being sworn in by Attorney General Pam Bondi following yesterday's Senate confirmation vote. Not a single Democrat voted for Patel, and they were joined by two Republicans, Susan Collins of Maine and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, voting no as well, but it wasn't enough to derail the confirmation of Patel. Housing market still struggling, although there are some signs of recovery.
The National Association of Realtors reports sales of previously occupied U.S. homes fell by 4.9% in January, dampened both by rising prices and mortgage rates, deterring many would-be home buyers despite greater inventory. At the same time, the seasonally adjusted annual rate of just over 4 million units was up 2% year over year.
Correspondent George Williams. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller delivering what he calls a brief civics lesson to the White House press corps. Noting the president is elected by the whole of the American people, Miller says the Constitution states the executive power shall be vested in a president.
What President Trump is doing is he is removing federal bureaucrats who are defying democracy by failing to implement his lawful orders, which are the will of the whole American people.
Miller is also applauding a 95% reduction in monthly illegal border crossings since President Trump returned to the White House just a month ago. Israel says a body, supposedly that of an Israeli hostage returned by Hamas, was not that of an Israeli mother of two young boys. And Prime Minister Netanyahu calls it a cruel and malicious violation of the Gaza ceasefire. He says it will be avenged. On Wall Street, the Dow down 345 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's
Mexico has arrested the suspected leader of a notorious drug cartel.
Jose Angel Carnovio, who's also known as El Güerito, is believed to have organized the cartel's fentanyl smuggling operations to the United States. The Mexican authorities say he was the head of security for one of the sons of the jailed drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. On Wednesday, the Trump administration designated the Sinaloa cartel and 7 other Latin American criminal groups as foreign terrorist organizations.
The BBC's Leonardo Rocha. A group of families and children from Uzbekistan, China, Afghanistan, Russia, and other countries have climbed down the stairs of a plane in Costa Rica's capital. The first flight of deportees from other nations at Costa Rica agreed to hold in detention facilities for the Trump administration while it organizes a return to their home countries. The flight of 135 deportees adding Costa Rica to a growing list of Latin American nations. Townhall.com. It's a big change for Big League Ball.
A computerized system that calls balls and strikes being tested during Major League Baseball spring training exhibition games this year, and that comes after 4 years of experiments in the minor leagues. The automated ball strike system could potentially be used in the majors as early as next year to help home plate umpires, but not replace them. Starting in 2024, Major League Baseball focused the testing on a challenge system in which the human umpire makes each original call. Jason Walker reporting.
The Los Angeles wildfires wiped out thousands of homes, forcing families to find new places to live. Tenants who were just getting by before the fires now face a daunting search for a new home amid soaring rents. California's Attorney General Rob Bonta is warning property owners against price gouging. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Trace Inviernos
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Buenos Friday.
See.
Made it to the weekend, and we made it through the cold tundra.
Yep.
We're almost out. It's still chilly right now. It's a balmy 24, but
we climbed through a frozen pipe of crap and came out clean on the other side.
That's right. Now we're ready to enjoy the sunshine and the beauty.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, it's going to be nice this weekend, so enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just had one of those moments of yep.
Clarity?
Yeah, he can say that a little bit. It was kind of funny. It was a post I saw on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in one of these like Gen X posts.
Okay.
Or pages. And the post said, the only thing realistic about the movie Top Gun Maverick, the only thing unrealistic about the movie Top Gun Maverick was the fact that the millennials knew how to sing Great Balls of Fire. And so I was like, all right. I hit the comment. I don't know why I did. I just did. And the comments were interesting to me.
Well, in fairness, millennials, we're not young. We're not kids anymore.
This is the point. This is the point I'm making. Is the millennials are on there saying, "No, my parents played that song. I knew it all. I heard it all the time." And then I kept seeing a lot of those comments. Just kept scrolling. Somebody, I'm going to assume a boomer, said the only reason Gen X knows it because it was played in the first Top Gun. And then I read and so of course people chimed in on that one.
Yeah.
So I started reading the comments, and of course it's Gen Xers. No, my dad had it on the 8-track all the time, and I'm like, I'm sensing a pattern.
Oh yeah. Yep. Can't we just all agree that Gen Z sucks? I think that's really, we need to take our collective ire and turn it not towards each other,
right,
but turn it towards them.
Right.
The broccoli-headed Generation Z. Let's just focus on them, the Zen generation. I know that's not their Generation Z, but they're over there popping Zens, you know?
But it just kind of made me like, life is really the same. The only thing that changes is us.
Yeah. Yeah, it really, we just take each other, our own problems and fork them onto the generation behind us.
Life is life. It's the same. I mean, yes, insert the latest technologies here and there, but it's the same.
I'm not allowed.
The only thing that changes is our phase as we travel through it.
I'm not allowed to dog on Gen Alpha just yet.
Yeah.
Because that's my kids. So I gotta see how it turns out for them, you know?
Right. Well, that's just it. Everyone complains about their generation. It's like, you realize you begat that generation. So whatever it's kind of like,
I skipped the whole Gen Z.
I'm going to jump to another thing, but it's going to tie into the same thing.
Okay.
In the news there, you heard that Major League Baseball is going to be trying out this automated pitch strike, to cameras to determine pitch, balls and strikes.
So like a robo-ump?
Kind of, but they're going to have a real ump there, but they're going to try out this software.
Okay.
And I know people are going to lose their ever-loving mind because, this is not pure the game. This is not. But the same breath, these are the same people. These umps suck. They need to get back. And I'm like, you see, it's all the same.
We've given you the solution. You just don't want it.
This is the life in which we live. And so I just, between the Maverick moment and then hearing that, I'm like, yeah, life, maybe just remind people, quit getting mad at everything. Just, it's just, you know what? It's probably the same. You just now are experiencing it from a different perspective.
That's fair.
That's my life lesson for Friday.
There you go.
It all boils down to, don't sweat the small stuff, don't sweat the petty things or pet the sweaty things, whatever all that stuff.
I do have a small gripe.
Gripe? All
yes,
right.
A small gripe. Something that sort of has grinded my gears as of late. I understand that this new generation or the younger folks, when they see the name Sean, or when they hear the name Sean, they think SHAWN. SEAN is an acceptable way to spell my name.
Yes, it has.
And I bring this up because not once, but twice in the last month, I have put in an order at Any Place USA. I have been told that my order was not ready. This happened to me yesterday. I ordered a thing at a place. I see a thing sitting on the counter. I'm thinking, that might be mine. So the girl walks over, looks at it, walks to the back. I said, order for Sean. Walks to the back. Have you had an order for Sean? Yada, yada. I told her what it was, and she goes, "Oh, but this is for CN." Yes, Sean.
You know what?
I was gobsmacked.
I have a suggestion for you.
Okay.
Embrace the change.
Oh yeah. Go with Sion?
Yes. I'm saying do the Ians of the world. Do you know any Ians anymore? All the Ians turned to Ians.
Actually,
all of a
no.
sudden.
Most of the Ians I know are still Ians.
Every Ian I know is turned to
Ian
Ian.
Ziering, but I mean,
I think you should pull an Ian and just embrace the change and just
I'm seeing. It's just, I don't know.
Because now you're going to tick off a whole new set of people.
Oh, is that
the people that think you're bougie and like some kind of,
Ultimately, that is my goal.
I'm just saying, maybe embrace the change.
That's fair. But I would need I think I need to put like an accent over the A. I guess at that point. I don't know. It just it blew my mind. I'm like, how do you get to a point in life?
Or just add the H, SHEAN. See what they do with that.
Well, that's Sheehan. At that point.
But I pronounce it Sean.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the world we live in. People just make up their own rules now.
Oh, so you're wrong? Is that you're just wrong? Yeah, I'm wrong.
I think just make up your own rules. That's what everybody else does now.
But how do you get to a point where you have achieved employment and yet never heard SEA or seen SEAN as a Sean.
Yeah.
Like Sean Connery, Sean Penn. I mean, we're out there.
Yeah. It's Sean, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
But this is also you're entering old man yells at cloud motor life.
I understand.
Welcome to the club, bud.
I understand, but I work in a place where there's a microphone attached to a wire and it goes out to people, so I'm going to utilize that. It's great.
Welcome to have a seat, grab a cup of coffee, man.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It really is an insignificant situation, but
yeah.
sounds like more of a you.
But I get you because you and me are the same in that way. It's like if you give me the big problem, I kind of like level-headed and cool. But if it's something just nitnoity that's the hill I die on. That's the hill I die on every time.
But I would say that's a byproduct of your military training. Because
maybe.
You handle insane, stressful situations level-headed and calm. You and I are built different. I can usually accept the petty things and just let them roll off. But when things start getting very stressful, I tend to... I will say this, though.
Yeah.
I tend to get my best work done under stress.
Under duress?
Under duress, yes. If I know I've got a deadline coming up, like right away, I'm gonna put out really good work for some reason. I'm a diamond.
I get that.
Pressure.
A lot of people do, actually.
Pressure.
Some people don't work well unless they're under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's those procrastinators, and here's the problem: most of us think we're that. Actually, a smaller percentage are, and it's one of those things we all think we're. But reality is most of us screw that. But there is some people that truly they just look. My brain just kicks in when you light the fire. So to speak.
But my whole thing is if like for example, if I knew somebody I was going to have a visitor, I need to know that you're coming 3 days in advance. I need to know 3 hours beforehand what time you're going to leave so that I can be prepared.
Yeah.
Because 3 hours beforehand, that's when I'm going to start doing everything.
And see, that's where you start getting to OCD stuff. A little bit.
A little bit.
But I would even make, and this is where we're so not like with, especially with autism and stuff. Of course, this is your world, and we're learning so much more about like someone diagnosed with autism today probably wouldn't even been recognized 20 years ago.
Yeah.
With it. You know what I mean? And so what I'm thinking is, like, I think all of us have a little bit of it in us, like in some way, shape, or form.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
think that it manifests itself in little itty bitty ways.
I just kind of feel like as we learn more about this stuff, we're going to learn this is all part of the creamy makeup of what is your brain and all that stuff. But anyway, before I get too philosophical,
before we get too deep,
speaking of your brain, no, never mind. Never mind. I'm going to stop all right there because I'm like, wait, that's just going to end badly. But it would have been funny. It would have been if you would have went with me on it. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you updated with the weather here in just a bit. Like I said, cold for a little bit longer than warmer tomorrow. You know what? The weather's not going to smack you. They're going to give you a little bit of grace. Like they're going to ease you into the warmer weather. We're going to do 50s tomorrow, maybe near 60, and then 70s and then 80s. So they're kind of cream. So we'll do that. And then we're going to replay our interview we had with Ray Baca talking Golden Gloves.
Yes.
Junior Golden Gloves boxing. The state championships will be here in Roswell in March at Roswell High. And then in April, they're going to do the regional championships also here in Roswell at Roswell High.
Nice.
And so what that basically means is when the kids that win state will go to regionals. If they win regionals, they go to nationals. And they'll do all of that here in Roswell.
Which is great because that means our kids don't have to get on a plane and crash and have to develop a dystopian society wherein there's a hierarchy and then some paranormal stuff starts happening.
That's right. And they do seances, and then they have to cover it up years later, like now. So
yeah, exactly. So it's great that it's all happening right here. I'm trying. I don't know why, but I want to see how much. Okay, that's not bad. I could get a ring bell for $85.
Okay.
I kind of want to get a ring bell. Just because I think it'd be a fun thing to have.
You would have use for it.
Yeah.
Other people, no. You, yes. Because, I mean, radio shtick aside, you have wrestling nights, you have events surrounded around this thing. I think you could make parties with that. And first bell, get your drinks, plus your bartending thing. You could make a whole thing out of it.
Too. How funny would it be to sneak into a wrestling show or a boxing show or anything, sneak a bell in, and then just set that bad boy off at random times.
It would be fun.
You get kicked out, but
I feel like in the world of wrestling, this idea has not been you're not the first to think of this. I feel like many a inbred has tried to sneak one in.
It is odd that it's never happened before. I do maybe feel like they have people at the gate.
I feel like they
well, you do have to walk through a metal detector.
Yeah,
before.
I feel like they might suss this one out maybe a little bit.
All right,
suss correctly.
Yeah. Let me work on this. Work on the plan. I'll get back to you. But no, I just think it'd be kind of a.
I feel
fun
like that's
thing
been
to
a
have.
long-term problem for the wrestling community that they've had to address.
Well, what made me think of it was every single time we've talked about Ray Baca this week, I've done the three bell ring, and I don't think it's resonating because this is a ring for service bell. It doesn't really work.
It doesn't have the same.
It doesn't. It's not the same tonality.
Yeah, it's not the tonality, and it doesn't end the same. There's that's a ding. A box mill's like.
You know what?
Ding, ding, ding.
There's a mallet attached. I have a feeling they'll probably bar me from entry because of the mallet.
Oh.
See, that's the problem. I just need to get a rubber mallet. There you go.
Or a wooden crab knocker.
Ah, there you go. I was just going to hit it with a pin. It's a very heavy pin.
I was going to blow on it. Probably should get the hour going.
Yep.
Like I said, it is. We're going to play that interview with Ray Baca this hour. Before we do that, here is that weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Fairly cool today. We have high pressure over the area through the weekend, so the overall weather pattern looks fair. Sunshine today, low to mid 40s, and the wind should stay fairly light. For the overnight hours, partly cloudy and chilly, dropping down to a low of about 20. Then we get sunshine on Saturday, warming up a little bit. We're back in the upper 50s and then 70s and sunny on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton. That's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 24 degrees here. Good news is it only feels like -4 now instead of -8. Humidity is at 44%. Winds are out of the south at 13 miles per hour. We are going to hit the 40s today, 44 under sunny skies. Winds will be out of the south at around 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight, overnight low of 21 degrees. Winds will be out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. Saturday, 58, pushing 60 tomorrow, so a little warmer, sunny. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly clear. Overnight low of 27. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. And then we hit the 70s on Sunday. Sunny and 72 with winds out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, 82 for a high. Tuesday, 76 for a high. Wednesday, we're looking at 73 for a high. And then Thursday, down to 67. But looks like a nice week next week. All right, 9:21. We're going to take a 3.5-minute break, and then we're going to play our interview with Ray Baca talking about Golden Gloves. Don't go away.
What's up, my fellow Americans? It's your boy, POTUS numero uno, George Washington. You know how I feel about lies, right? Well, you can get a great deal right now during the President's Day sale all month long at Roswell Nissan. With access to over 300 pre-owned vehicles, quality pre-owned trucks under $30K, and great deals on all brand new 25 Sentras, Altimas, Pathfinders, and Rogues. Great new deals, no cap. Come save a bunch of Washingtons during the President's Day sale on now through February 28th at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd, or shop online at roswellnissan.com.
So you've got questions about the birds and the bees? What would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben Manette with Roswell Seed Company. If Jim was here, he'd tell you that it's time to order your bees. You'll get a 3-pound box of live bees and a queen, and that's enough to start a hive. As for the birds, we're talking about baby chicks. Not only are they cute as can be, they'll soon be supplying your family with fresh eggs. So come see us at Roswell Seed and find out all about the birds and the bees.
Take your career to the next level. If you have mechanical aptitude, the Crumlin Auto Group wants to talk to you. Make real money without driving to the oil field. Certified master technicians can earn up to $70 an hour. Entry-level technicians start at $20 an hour with free training and tools. The Crumlin Auto Group offers competitive wages, health insurance, a 401k, housing assistance, and a sign-on bonus of up to $20,000. You could be making over $150,000 a year. Apply today at KAGNM.com. KAGNM.com.
Did you know almost 75% of the time we're replacing a roof, something totally weird or unexpected or bizarre happens? Jennifer here again from Trustmark Roofing, and I want you to know that we are always prepared for the unexpected. That's why we always have project superintendent on site at your home at all times to handle those weird, bizarre things as they pop up. Things like an unexpected layer of wood shake shingles under your shingles or rotted out decking boards, problems with flashing or ridges or missing supplies that somebody needs to chase down. These are the kinds of problems that normally grind the crews from other roofing companies to a halt and delay the project. But not with our super awesome superintendent there. He's equipped to handle any problem and keep the project moving along smoothly. Just one more way we do things better at Trustmark Roofing. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Over the next several weeks, we want to give you 5 key elements to a great marriage. This is taken from an article by Drs. Les and Leslie Perot. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage. The first one is ownership, taking responsibility for the good as well as the bad.
1 Corinthians 11:31 says, judge yourself so you won't be judged. It's talking about the judgment of God, but it also applies to our relationships, especially the ones that are closest to us, like marriage. If you'll just take responsibility for your own actions, it's so much easier for our spouses not to have to point out and criticize us.
So we have to take responsibility for our actions and our reactions, our attitudes and our mistakes. You know, most people would learn from their mistakes if they weren't so busy denying them.
You aren't responsible for what your spouse does. You are responsible for doing your part. So just decide today to do your part and take ownership.
A Greek-Canadian man invented the Hawaiian pizza. His name was Tex Colorado, and he was from Detroit. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us. And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, talking some Golden Gloves boxing, Ray Baca back with us this morning. Morning, Ray. How you doing today?
Good morning, Mike. Doing well, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Anytime, and of course, you know, it's really great because now we're seeing, because we just talked to you a couple months ago with Hall of Fame and
Correct,
all that stuff, and so it's now really getting, you know, like. There's always been a great tradition of boxing in New Mexico. You know what I mean? We've got a great history. We've got some legendary folks over the years that have been a part of Gold, but we're starting to see a surge where we're getting more youth, more people looking to say, hey, this might be a great thing for my child to be a part of. So you guys are growing and getting bigger, it seems like.
Yeah, we are. You know, like you said, there's a great tradition, especially in Roswell, because the actual state Golden Glove tournament was founded here in Roswell in 1948.
Nice.
And it was geared to
1 year after the aliens.
So now we're in our 78th year. Yeah, 70. I take that back. 77th.
Okay.
We're in our 77th.
We don't fudge that year.
Yeah.
All right, I can't answer this phone. I don't want to keep calling me in here, but sorry.
That's quite all right.
Keep going. Go ahead.
But anyway, we're glad. You know, this is our 3rd year back. And March 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, Roswell High School. But we've added something to that this year. This year, during the course of the state Golden Glove tournament, we're hosting the state junior Golden Glove tournament at the same time.
Nice. Okay. So it's like kind of this is going to be an over-the-top action-packed, just wherever you turn, there's going to be something going on kind of thing.
And we're adding 2 rings. So like last couple of years, we've had just 1 ring center stage. But this year we're thinking now we're going to get more people coming in into our community and more fighters. So we're adding 2 rings, and it just depends on the number of fighters. But and we're still going to have our live streaming through you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is the thing. Like the March here in March, the 21st and 22nd, 23rd there. That's all going to be at Roswell High. Now, yes, you got it in town. We want to pack the gym.
Yes, we do.
Full of you know, when all these matches are going on, they got plenty of people ringside. However, if I get it, you got folks living all over the state or outside of the state, got family, tell them that they can tune in on our KSVP TV. We'll have a Golden Gloves channel on our website there that they can tune in and watch the boxing that weekend. And of course, it'll be on demand afterwards too. So, but we want to make sure we fill the gym up. We want to make sure we're supporting these kids. We want to make sure they've got a full gym of people rooting them on at these boxing matches.
And, you know, we have a lot. Roswell's been very good. It's been very good to Golden Gloves. You know, our sponsors, you know, different ads, you guys, and so on. And this is, well, where does this money go? You know, one of the, you know, purchase rings.
Yeah.
Equipment, supplies, and then.
I'm going to take insurance is not a cheap thing to have for the sport of boxing.
Yeah, that's very well said. The other thing,
any sport and event's expensive, but you know, I'm just thinking, you know, boxing, they're probably saying, you know, we're gonna charge you a premium for that insurance.
So then we have that additional cost is when these guys when they win and they move on. You know, we're responsible for getting them to and from, whether it be flying or driving them or whatever the case.
You know, if they get to these, you know, state, regional, and then into national type things, and they got to get all over the country and for some of these matches and things. And we got to get them there. It costs money to put them on planes and to training and lodging and food and all the things that it costs to do these kinds of things.
That's very well said. And you know, and again, we have to take care of all of those things. And at the end of the day, though, is like when you see these young men and young ladies.
Absolutely, that's the other thing too. We're seeing the female side of boxing gaining a lot of popularity now, so that's good.
And we have some actually we have quite a few fighters, old-playing class fighters. There's a couple of young ladies out of Albuquerque, and then another couple out of Las Cruces. Some really excellent fighters, and not to mention that we've had a couple of young ladies out of Albuquerque, out of Las Cruces that won nationals here in the last couple of years. So.
You know, I'm just was curious. You know, we're just talking philosophically here. For folks that also don't know, Albuquerque is considered kind of a mecca for MMA fighting. You have a lot of MMA that do training and stuff there. I'm very curious. How does that work or hurt or help Golden Gloves? Is there a lot of does that detract from some of your stuff, or do you see kids that maybe start in Golden Gloves and then maybe as they get older say, you know what, I'm going to transition to MMA stuff? I mean, how does that help, hurt, or a little bit of neither on that? I'm just curious.
I really don't. You know, and you're right though. It usually starts when you see these UFC. Those guys are professional fighters, and most of them start. Whether they're wrestlers or wrestling.
They usually start in one faction or another.
Or boxers. Holly Holm is a perfect example of that. She transitioned from being a world champion in boxing, and became a UFC champion.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't think it really hurts us. To be honest with you,
I didn't know if maybe it even helps where they're saying they see MMA, but they're saying, you know what? Because here's the thing, we're talking about Golden Gloves boxing. We're talking. You know, we're training these kids to be boxers and things like that. But here's the side of it that doesn't necessarily, you know, show up on the tape here is the mentoring side. And the kids, as much as they're learning boxing skills, they're learning life lessons as part of that. And so I think that's so like when a child sees the MMA stuff and says, you know, that's why I'm thinking if they're interested in that, starting in something like boxing not only gives them the mindset of how to train for something like that, but also gives you life lessons on, because guess what, boxing, you're going to get knocked down in boxing. That's what happens.
Yeah.
What happens when you get up? That's a lesson that's really hard to teach in a lot of circles, except for in the, pardon the pun, the square ring here.
and you're right. And in boxing, you're going to get hit.
Yeah.
That's just part of the game.
That's the game.
You're going to get hit. But the preparation and the mentoring with the coaches, the traveling with your teammates.
Yeah.
You know, although it's an individual sport, you get to know these guys. You travel with them. You live with them. You know, you go to these tournaments. You're with them. You know, all that time that you're out, and it's you build that camaraderie with these guys. So it's.
Oh yeah.
And I've been on both sides as a coach and as a fighter, and able to the kids themselves. They never forget you.
Well, and here's the thing that I think were you, yourself, and many, you know, because like
there's a bunch of us.
Yeah, you know,
there's a bunch of us.
All of our coaches that are out there now that probably in these circles were probably just like yourself. They were young men, young women that were boxing and doing their thing. But it's because for you guys, I imagine because you see and some of these kids come from hard places and life and family homes that aren't ideal per se.
Sure.
And for them to overcome, the deck of cards that were handed to them and to see them be able to play a hand and win that round, that's a huge victory for you. And to see, because those are the moments that that whatever this young man or young woman does, whether they go on to just be whether it's boxing or cooking or whatever they do in life when they become adults, their stuff they're learning in that ring, it's going to serve them well. And that's the beauty of it.
You're better prepared. I really believe that, because it's just you and that other individual across the way.
Yeah.
There's not a guy going to block for you or set a screen for you or hit the ball for you.
Yeah.
It's just you.
It's chess that punches back.
That's very, very true. Yeah. But one other thing I did want to add before I lose my train of thought here, Mike, was that for the first time because we have this thing with it's the Colorado, New Mexico, where we have, the charter is Colorado, New Mexico.
Okay.
So when our state champions, they win, we either go, and in the last few years it's been in Albuquerque.
Okay.
So our state champions, let's say you win in New Mexico, you'd go fight in Denver.
Okay.
And then from Denver, you qualify to go to nationals.
Okay. So they go to Denver for like a regionals type.
So this year it's coming to Roswell.
Okay, so the regionals are here.
The regionals are here.
Okay, so we get the locals and state and regional here this time.
That's correct.
Nice.
And one of the beauty of that I wanted to share is that 3 years ago, the New Mexico Colorado team were the national champions.
Okay.
We were the national champions. So we have good quality fighters.
Gotcha.
This is an opportunity for people out there to come and see the best of Colorado against the best in New Mexico.
So really, whoever comes out of this region, they're going to be, I don't say favorites, but they're going to be really in play for national championships.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct, because there's 30. Right now we're at 32 programs throughout the country.
Gotcha.
And that tournament, last year it was in Detroit. This year goes back to Tulsa, the national tournament. But we start on a Monday morning, Monday, and don't end until Saturday. And you got 3 and 4 rings going on at the same time.
A whole week of boxing, pretty much. Man.
And we had that quality of fighters here in the state of New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Not only here in Roswell, Las Cruces, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, throughout the state. Clovis, Carlsbad's program started back up, and they're just it's growing again.
That's great. It's great
growing again.
And like you said, for the first time in a long time, we're going to have to set up a second ring for state here, because we have so much action that in order to get it in the 3 days we can get it in, we need more rings to do this. So this is a blessing. We're great. And I would say, if you're maybe thinking about an opportunity, maybe come out the weekend of March 21 through the 23rd here. Come out to the Roswell High Gym, talk to the boxers, watch the matches. Maybe this is something your child could also find their niche in boxing, because that's again, this is what I love is getting these and boxing is such a unique thing. Sports is I always am a big fan of getting your kids in sports, because because there's lessons to be learned in sports that you just can't teach in other platforms. It's just really hard to translate that. And boxing even adds another layer to that, because it's a team sport, but it's not a team sport. Like you said, I mean, when it comes to getting a boxer ready, it's a team sport. But the moment they're in that ring, it's two people, one-on-one right there. And so it gives that element of, yes, I have a team and understanding. We all got to do our part to make the thing happen, but also puts that individual, it's on me, that onus. I've got to be responsible for these actions. If what I do here, I'm going to face adversity. What happens next? And that's how do I, and you learn those lessons in the boxing ring. And there's some days they're going to fail.
Oh, yeah.
And there's some days they're not. But that's the place they learn that lesson. And that's the kind of stuff that really prepares your child for adulthood and life, because life is boxing.
Correct.
1 minute you're standing up cheering for everything. The next minute, someone's got you butt down on the ground, telling you, putting your mouthpiece back in your mouth. You know what I mean? That's life.
Sure.
and so there's no better tool than that sometimes to get your children
That's right.
prepared for whatever future they choose.
Like you said, the preparation. All those miles that you put there, you're out running out in the country or at the park or whatever, and that's just all the time and effort that you put into it before you even go to train.
Yeah.
And or after, sitting all these different types of exercises. Swimming is good for boxing. All these different things that you had to put into that before you ever get in the ring.
Well, you don't realize all the muscles you use. It's the same thing with swimming. That's why you said swimming.
Yeah.
You're literally using every muscle in your body, and swimming and boxing is very similar in that type. So and that's why boxers, you look at all the body types and frames, and you could look, and obviously they box by weight class, but
right.
But you could look at a boxer that looks cut and everything else, and see one that that really doesn't matter if the technique is good, if you know what I mean. You don't have to look like the Adonis to
be a good boxer.
To kick butt in boxing. Yeah, it really is that kind of. It's because it's just about being in shape, But then again, it's also the mind game. It's the It's the technical stuff, the chess match side of it. When they jab, how do I counter? How can I get a combo in? This is, where's their weak spots? When they do that with tendencies, when they throw their left, they drop their right. That's an opportunity. These are the types of things boxing teaches you, is to see, is what's, observe, see what's going on, study. That's all the stuff these kids are learning when they're in that ring doing that kind of thing. And it all translates to life skills. When they're in a college class trying to write a term paper, they're going to use these same analytical skills to get that job done. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's so great.
That preparation. Mm-hmm. It's the preparation. Yeah.
So the week, put these on your calendar, mark it down now for the New Mexico State Junior Golden Gloves Championship. That's going to be March 21st through March 23rd. Again, all matches are going to be at the Roswell High Gym. The winners of that are going to go compete in regionals, which will also be at the Roswell High Gym in April. That'll be the weekend of April 12th, I believe.
Yeah, just a one-day affair. Colorado versus New Mexico.
Very good. But before we get there, we got to do our state championship.
We got to do it, yeah.
You can get tickets at the door, I believe. Can you get advance tickets
yes.
also?
As a matter of fact, you should be hearing something. We're going to be selling tickets at both Bank of the Southwest on the north end.
Okay.
And on the south end, you can buy your tickets ahead of time. And if you buy them ahead of time, you can get there's a better rate.
Okay.
At the door, it's going to run you like, oh my God, I don't even have that information, like $15 a day. But if you buy them ahead of time, you can buy for $10.
Okay, cool. And then, of course, veterans, seniors also $10.
Yes.
And then children as well, 6 to 17 are $10, and then 5 and under are free.
That's correct.
So now, for the first bell on Friday, the 21st, will be at 6 p.m., and then Saturday, the first bell will be at 2, and then Sunday, the final day, 1 p.m. For first bell there, too. So So Friday night, you want to get there at 6 for the first fights, and then it'll go all night. And then Saturday, everything will kick off at 2 and go all into the evening there. And then Sunday, we go till we crown some champions.
There you go. And I want to reach out to anybody interested in sponsoring, because it does take quite a bit to get them where they're going. If feel free to call me at 575-910-2222.
Very good. Yes,
Yeah.
Reach out, and Ray's on Facebook and everything too. So
That's
if you
correct.
just you can shoot him a message to there, and Ray will get a hold of you. If you'd like, this would be a great opportunity to get a little rub for your shine for your business out there.
And we are a 501c3, so it's a tax deductible.
Absolutely, so you can save here because this is that time of year you're thinking about paying the tax man anyway. Here, actually, right now you're trying to file to get money. Here next month, the people have to pay, and April 5th, 14th, they're at the post office trying to. But anyway. But if you want to sponsor, please reach out. If you're a business that wants to get involved with this, or an organization or individual. Sure. It's a great. It's growing. It's getting more, and I would like to see. It would be awesome if we see like boxing, kind of like where we have like soccer sign-ups. Everyone goes, you know what I mean? And just the whole town comes out and signs up. I think we're getting close to where boxing's getting to that. It's like, hey, come out. We're going to have our sign-up weekend. And next thing you got hundreds of kids throughout the county that are going to be out there doing it. So.
We're real excited, like you said. And, it for a while, it slowed down quite a bit.
Sure. I'm sure COVID put a damper in it a little bit. Yeah, like everything else.
Yeah. Through the years, a few years back, it was like a dying sport. But all of a sudden now, and you were talking earlier about Albuquerque, but Albuquerque is a mecca for professional boxing.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's probably why MMA kind of grew there, because it already had a strong boxing community, and it kind of, I don't know, morphed or split or whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
but like you said, we have some real. We're really excited. Got some real good kids coming from throughout the state, from here in Roswell and throughout the state. It's a really good program.
What's the youngest they start fighting? The youngest
They look
level?
like 6 years old. They actually start. Yeah, you got the peewees. You got the peewees.
Where the gloves are as big as their head.
yeah, that's very true. Peewees.
It's like you just see a ball with a head, 2 balls for gloves, and it just come waddling out.
and it's amazing to see those kids a few years back, and you see them now. Oh my God, that's that same kid.
Oh, I imagine, because they hit that growth spurt. They're like a 6, but then around 12 or 13, they hit some growth spurt, and the kid's like 6 foot already. And you're like, whoa.
And as good as anybody can be.
Yeah. I imagine too, because they probably fluctuate too. Because, well, obviously in boxing it's all by weight class, and when they're adults, you're kind of the same weight unless you're trying to lose. But kids are growing still. So, they could be like flyweights one minute, and the next year it's like, hey, you're now into the welterweight. You got to beef up a little bit. Yeah, you grew a few inches.
So we see a lot of that as well. But you can see them as they're progressing, because you kind of keep up with these kids as you go to these fights and you sit there and watch. And I'm very fortunate. I get a chance. I get to be where the weigh-ins are. And I get to know these kids and these coaches. And you can see the change, and you can see the coach. You can see the coaching.
Sure.
Where you stand when where you cut. Like, for example, if you're fighting a lefty, because they usually go a certain direction. Instead of leading with the jab, you lead with the right hand, because they're running right into your right hand.
Yeah, lefty, everything's backwards.
Yeah.
I'm a southpaw. I screw up everything. That's why we're a nightmare in certain sports.
So you have to adjust. And like we're talking about preparation and things, is that everything that you do, and then you see them, and you see these young men and these young ladies grow into some really great fighters. I had that opportunity since my youth to watch these young men and young ladies, and it's just amazing. And to come out and really see a classy fighter, and they're exceptional. There's that guy or that individual that just excels, and you see him, and it's like form of art. It truly is.
Well,
watching them do their thing.
You know what's something that I think that the youth especially, and all of us humans could, and I think boxing is a skill that teaches this. It's how to control your emotions. To know, because we live in a world and people get mad and you're ready to just lash out and things like that. You can't do that in boxing. The moment you mad lash out, you usually end up on the canvas. You know what I mean? And so you have to train your emotions and channel that. And I think boxing there's not many tools that can teach that discipline to say, I got to keep my emotion in check. Otherwise, because a boxer that's just crazy and angry is going to lose. I mean, they're just going to fly, and they're going to tire themselves out. They're going to probably miss half more than they hit, and one calculated punch, and it's good night, Charlie. And so you have to control that. You just can't go animal style out there and expect to win in boxing. It will bite. You may get away with it once or twice, but it will bite you in the butt after a while. If someone's got skills and has got technique, they will eat your lunch every single day of the week.
That's very well said, Mike.
And I think boxing, and in a world where we get triggered and get, you know what I mean, where everything's just, we go to the mattresses fighting as soon as you're either with me or against me. And, I think in a world, maybe boxing might, there's a lot of degrees between,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh yeah.
friend or foe here. You know, it's so
That's very true.
I think boxing is a metaphor on some of that stuff. So please, if you're looking for something to add to your children's, you know, education and experience to get them prepared to be adults, Golden Gloves boxing could be just the perfect tool to do that. So, and you never know, they may turn out to love boxing and have a love and a passion for the sport like Ray and many others do.
Yeah.
That, and who knows, maybe college, maybe they go on, and next thing you know, they got the next Muhammad Ali in the audience here. You never know. But again, mark it on your calendars. March 21st, 22nd, and 23rd is the New Mexico Golden Gloves Junior State Championships here for the state of New Mexico. Those will be 3 days of just boxing, nothing but boxing, at the Roswell High Gym. And you can get your tickets. Will be available at the door, but you'll be able to get advance tickets here. What were the locations again on that, Ray?
Bank of Southwest North and South.
The both either location of Bank of the Southwest here.
And they'll also, there's on one of our posters, there's that tag where you can.
Oh, the QR code.
Yeah,
deal?
you can buy them online.
Okay,
that way.
so if for if you're older, tell your kid or grandkid, you get on your smartphone and use the QR code.
That's correct.
And they get tickets. Now, advance tickets are only $10 for adults if you get them through Bank of Southwest or Advance. But if you get them at the door or whatever,
it's going to cost you $15.
$15. Of course, veterans, seniors, and children 6 through 17, $10, and then children 5 and under for free. And again, you want to get there early for the best action. But the first night, everything Friday night, but by Sunday afternoon, it's going to be all the championship matches and everything else. And so definitely come on out. And don't forget, tell your out-of-town friends and family. They'll be able to watch all 3 days of boxing action on our website, ksvptv.com. They'll have their own special Golden Gloves Junior Championship channel there.
And that's that costs like $10 per day. So if let's say you're in Santa Fe, and your grandchild is fighting, $10. You bring your family in and watch them from wherever you're at a very minimal cost.
Yeah, absolutely. So please support this. And but if you can, the best seat in the house will be in the gym.
That's correct.
Get out there and get ringside, and because we got 2 rings, there's 2 ring sides to get to. And it'll be constant boxing action from one to. You might have to pay a little bit of attention since there's 2 rings. You're like, oh, especially if you're rooting for a certain kid or whatever. Like, ooh, I got to pay attention. Which ring are they going to be on again? Maybe get a good spot for that ring.
And the good thing about that Roswell High, it's such a nice facility. You know, you could.
Yeah, if you get topside, you can see both at the same time.
That's
but
correct.
if you want to get like sweat thrown on you got to get close. Ray, is there any information we missed? Anything we wanted to get?
No, just we want get the community coming out and support these young athletes. Bully Boxing got some really good fighters coming out.
Yeah. And then if you loved what you saw here that weekend, come back April 12th for the regional championships.
And that's the best of the best. New Mexico against Colorado.
That'll be the elite in the region, and then next up is Tulsa, Oklahoma. After that,
that's correct.
Tulsa Kings. Awesome, Ray. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
See
Mike.
you next time,
Pleasure.
and good seeing you again. And,
my pleasure.
And it's great to see that every time you come in, there's more and more good things happening with Golden Gloves. So,
thank you, Mike.
Good stuff. All right, it is 8:48. Let's shut our holes to pay some bills. We're going to pause for news and also your sports update, Red Market update, quick break as well. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings
I'm Jared
with Mike
Cirillo. A child's death in Eddy County last year has now led to the arrest of the child's mother and her boyfriend. Little Kaylani Sue Moreno's remains were found alongside the road near Queen Highway, State Road 137, back in September. After months of investigation, the Eddy County Sheriff's Office reported Thursday that the child's mother, Brianna Ariel Stallings, and her boyfriend, Manuel Tomas Guillen, had both been arrested. Stallings is charged with tampering with evidence and conspiracy, while Guillen is charged with intentional child abuse resulting in death and tampering with evidence. After asking for the public's help, Roswell police say they found and arrested a child sexual assault suspect. RPD sent an alert asking for help in finding 26-year-old Jeremy Moore of Roswell. Police said they obtained an arrest warrant for Moore in regards to the sexual assault of a young girl. Later on Wednesday, police said Moore had been found and was arrested in the Hagerman area. No other details were provided. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Donald Trump. Now, some people say, well, why would Donald Trump do this? Why? Because it needs to be done. We have seen the weaponization of our Department of Justice. We have seen the politicizing and weaponizing of our FBI and our intelligence community. And the president directed the Justice Department to fire all U.S. attorneys left over from the Biden administration, all of them. And he said, therefore, I have instructed the termination of all remaining Biden-era U.S. attorneys. We must clean house immediately, restore confidence. They were there the whole time. Did any of them ever stand up at the Department of Justice and say that, wait a minute, this is not equal justice under the law?
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Donald J. Trump is officially the next president of the United States of America. While millions of Americans are rejoicing in the victory, thousands of others are still concerned about their savings. The unfortunate truth is, we still have $35 trillion in debt. The interest on that debt is now larger than our entire defense budget for the first time in history. Plus, the wars that started under Biden are still raging across the globe. So, what can you do to help protect your savings? Many Americans are already taking action by reaching out to the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco. Right now, Goldco is offering a free gold and silver kit to show you how precious metals like gold and silver could help you diversify your savings before it's too late. Visit HannityGold.com or call 855-815-GOLD to get your copy free of charge. Plus, you could receive up to a 10% match on bonus silver for qualified accounts. Visit HannityGold.com or call 855-815-GOLD. That's HannityGold.com. Paid for by Goldco.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Last day of the regular season, boys and girls basketball, and the Roswell guys are trying to keep pace with the Hobbs guys. Both have 4-1 district records. So Roswell is 20-5 overall. The game starts in Clovis tonight at 7 o'clock for the Coyotes. Meanwhile, the Goddard Rockets playing at home against Artesia in boys basketball. Artesia's already wrapped up the district. They've got a 5-0 district mark. Goddard can pull even in the district standings with a victory. That, again, starts at 7. That game will be preceded by the girls' game. Both Artesia and Goddard girls are at 1-4 overall. And the Roswell girls still seeking their first district victory. And this is the last chance, as Roswell 13-12 overall, 0-5 in district, will host Clovis, which is pretty good, 20-5 overall, 3-2 in district. That starts at 7. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Fairly cool today. We have high pressure over the area through the weekend, so the overall weather pattern looks fair. Sunshine today, low to mid 40s, and the wind should stay fairly light. For the overnight hours, partly cloudy and chilly, dropping down to a low of about 20. Then we get sunshine on Saturday, warming up a little bit. We're back in the upper 50s and then 70s, and sunny on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton. That's your latest forecast.
Great news, Roswell. Your friends at Roswell Ford have the best relationship advice ever. Break up and do it right now.
Really?
Yes. Break up with your old beater and upgrade for less during Ford Truck Month at Roswell Ford. Right now, everybody gets friends and family pricing on all new and quality pre-owned vehicles with up to $8,000 off MSRP on new Fords with 0 down, 0% APR for 72 months, and no payments for 90 days. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles in prime condition starting at just $10,000. Making payments on your current car, truck, or SUV and want out early? Roswell Ford wants to terminate your current lease or loan, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. And our aggressive lenders will push to approve your credit, even if your credit is less than perfect. huge savings, more for your trade, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR is $13.89 per thousand financed. Interest accrues from date of sale on select vehicles. Trade balance refinance to new loan. Subject to lender approval. Offers not combined.
Check out some of the bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. Select cans of Libby's vegetables are 5 for $5, and cans of Food Club chili with or without beans are $1.88 each. In produce, 1 pound packs of strawberries are 2 for $4, and large green bell peppers are 3 for $1. In the meat department, family packs of choice top sirloin steaks are $5.99 a pound, and family packs of fried drumsticks or thighs are just 99 cents a pound. These are just some of the savings you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
Each year, FFA chapters around the country celebrate National FFA Week. It's a time to share what the FFA is and the impact it makes on our members every day. FFA helps the next generation rise up to meet world challenges by growing leaders, thinkers, and doers. Join Maine Trailer Sales in recognizing these students during National FFA Week, February 15th through the 22nd. Help ensure FFA continues to thrive in our community. This message brought to you by Maine Trailer Sales, a proud supporter of the FFA. Don't go camping
At New Mexico
without us.
Gas Company, we believe there's money hiding in your home. It's true. It's hiding in your insulation, in your water heater, and in your furnace. And New Mexico Gas Company can help you tap into that money with rebates up to $800 for high-efficiency natural gas improvements. Your energy costs will go down, and your wallet will thank you. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and we provide energy efficiency solutions to save you money. That's why we're here. Learn more at nmgcgetrebates.com.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
And that's going to do it for us. Have a great weekend. We'll be back bright and early on Monday morning. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your day. Have an amazing weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. Fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is on the verge of collapsing following the group's latest atrocities. Hamas terrorists paraded the coffins of babies brutally murdered while being held hostage and cheered the spectacle